Hello and welcome to Black Winter Nights here on the D20 Multiverse. And that is the last time I do that because I'm really getting annoyed at having to do that and show you the shirt. You guys have seen the shirt, you know it's there. I'd love to welcome you guys along. Leonard, hey dude, how's it going? Good to see you in chat as per usual. Tonight's going to be a good one. You may have already noticed, I don't know...
The camera facing us is...
There's what?
Yeah, facing
Tech issues? Are we good?
No, we're good.
It's good, it's good.
Oh, sorry, no,
We'll put them on the sides, it's fine.
You're blind as mine though.
I had one job.
You did it well, I'm just not a very smart man. So.
Anyway, welcome along to Black Winter Nights here on the D20 Multiverse. Let's have Oliver, Dungeon Master, and my lovely players, the Black Winter Nights. You will notice Arkyan is back for this session. Alright, we will see some interesting stuff there. Also, you may have noticed that because Tim, aka Shiver, our Druid, is currently at his graduation show for the stand-up comedy class that he was taking, he cannot be here tonight. So, from Eyes of Elisia, playing a couple of characters for Black Winter Nights, we have Casper and Alex, who will sing. Welcome along, guys. Good to have you in the other side of the cast.
Good to be here.
What else is going on? There are new players joining as Tim and Aiden, Shiver and Fate, are moving to the UK, although they might start their own show right here on the D20 Multiverse, so keep an eye out for that. You may notice my hair is different. Yep, it is. And basically, we're ready to get into it because it's wild. Thank you guys so much for subscribing and all that kind of stuff. Leonard, you're an absolute legend and we love you. Okay, so the last time we saw the party... Oh, and, no. Yeah, the last time we saw the party, it's a very stressful job. The last time we saw the Black Winter Nights, they had climbed deep into the heart of the Endless Mountain to find and slay the Ogre King, one of the 5 Lords of Violence now reawakened in the continent of the Cast by the formidable Lord Nyath, Demon Wannabe Force. The party, with Orthanc, the Half-Orc, with some very clever intimidation and deception, managed to lead the rest of the party into the Endless Mountain, saying that they were in fact more prisoners. And with some clever rolls, managed to get right down through the heart of this metropolis of orcs and hobgoblins and half-orcs and horrible creatures. They themselves made their way through rickety bridges and scaffolds on the sides of the mountain that were carving the very living rock, expanding the domain of the Ogre King. They found their way past carts and carts of gold and platinum being led down chambers. They walked past multiple people kidnapped and being tortured and such. However, they found their way down through the matrix of bridges to the heart of the drumbeat. The very sound driving madness throughout the low-level intelligence creatures of Ukast, creating these frenzied monsters. They found a room with the Ogre King, 2 death dogs adorning either side of his throne, 15 hobgoblins playing a massive drum that was revealed to be the drum of Dain, god of war, in the mortal realm. The party enters stealthily. The Ogre King stands with the intention of squashing these insects in his homeland. However, throughout the epic battle that ensued, the Ogre King was slain. The hobgoblins dropped their drumsticks. The drum was destroyed. And that's where we find ourselves tonight. You stand in the kingdom of the Ogre King. His decaying, decapitated body, pumping black sludge of blood onto the floor. The hobgoblins have started exiting the room at high speed. What are you guys doing?
First of all, I'm going to ask if anyone wants any chips.
Yes. Your dungeon master would very like
I'm fine, but I'll break the 4th wall. And...
Yeah, 1 point of experience.
Per chip.
Thank you.
You level up.
Yes.
You level up just because you...
Yeah,
The hobgoblins are now running at speed.
So there's still the 2 death dogs in the room, right?
Chained.
They're all chained up. Could we see what kind of magical items the Ogre King has on him in terms of...
Absolutely. And in fact, you guys have earned 550 experience points each.
Oh, cool.
Through the battle of the Ogre King. That's for the Ogre King himself and the hobgoblins. As Gorstag takes a few steps forward, you now hear the shrill cries of the hobgoblins disappear into the darkness. And silence as they run out the bridges. Gorstag walks over. Roll some investigation, please. Can I reach you?
No. Can't have water.
18.
18.
Dare you say hydrated?
That is enough to find some stuff. While I do that, what is the rest of the party doing?
Are there any other exits from this room?
Does not seem so. No. In fact, the room is. Well, you can investigate for it actually. Try and see if you can find anything.
I do sort of dwarven stone cutting to check out them walls, see if the demon ogre had any secret. And I rolled a 5, so that probably doesn't matter.
Gorstag, you managed to find those things on first inspection. You're not sure if he's concealing anything else on his person.
Are the demon dogs, they're chained up and aggressive?
Well, aggressive, yeah, essentially. They are kind of just watching you and occasionally restraining their restraints.
If we had the small fluffy one with us, we might have used these as a distraction, but he was pulled through time and space, so that's not going to happen.
There we go.
I walk close to one of the dogs, obviously outside of its range. Throw it a ration.
Okay, bit of animal handling, please.
14.
As you approach, its saliva actually like travelling from its mouth as it hits you in the face. As you hold out the rations, you see this look of like torn between needing food, as the Ogre King was not the kindest of masters, and distrusting these people with large weapons. After a certain time, you kind of approach, and after a while, they can stop.
Be careful,
And it
these
comes.
beasts are used to pain and hunger.
Beasts can always be trained to think differently than them.
And the short time frame where we need to escape, maybe. Can I listen at the door that we came through to hear if there's anyone coming?
Yes, investigation. Sorry, perception.
Natural 20.
Oh, right.
Plus 2.
+2, just thought you'd add that in. Yeah, so Orthanc goes to the other side of the room where they entered, through the hallway, and kind of puts his ears up to the door. Essentially what you can hear through that is, now that the silence is echoing through this mountain with the drum beats stopped, you hear a lot of conversations, snippets of conversations of hobgoblins and orcs. What was that? Where's the music? Where's our master? And you hear, as the hobgoblins start running up the bridges and screaming, in the room! He's dead! He's dead!
Should have killed them all when we got the chance.
Did you take the weapon off the...
No, I didn't. I just...
Yes.
So, yes, the weapon.
I'd like to grab that and his head and hold one in each hand.
Okay.
He also had a silver gauntlet, I believe, that was magical.
He did have a gauntlet, and yes, he did.
Our loot awareness is top notch.
Yeah, no, nice. So he's got the giant's short sword, which is bigger than a great sword, probably too large for any of you to wield.
Yep.
He's got the dagger that he had with him, and the gauntlet as well. If you want to try and wrench that free, that's going to take a bit of strength rolls because it's kind of embedded into his skin a little bit.
Yeah, I'll try and take the gauntlet off him.
Gorstag steps forward, and as soon as you touch the thing, I need you to make a dex save.
Alright, natural 20.
Right. This cast of fire erupts as soon as you touch it, but as the heat comes towards you, just go woof, as a scorching blast hits the wall behind you and leaves little black burnt marks. Now some straight strength to rip it from his flesh.
That's 13.
You can hear the sound of flesh being pulled as it looks like when this touched his skin, it fused itself through some kind of heat. And as you pull, you're like, the fabric of skin is being ripped, and eventually you manage to get it off. So, that is a gauntlet of fire. You must attune to it before you can use it, but it's a +5 to hit and does 2d6 +2 of fire damage.
So I can't swing that sword. Can I just hold it just for aesthetics?
Oh, that will be a strength roll, and it's quite a high DC. It's a very large sword.
Do like a Dark Souls greatsword and like
Yeah,
hold it on your shoulder and carry it around.
Yeah. I just want the hobgoblins to see this.
You mentioned the dagger as well, sorry.
Yep.
Is that is
Right.
just a normal dagger? Or?
No, dagger of ice. So this is +3 to hit, 2d6 +2 of cold damage. You must make a wisdom save, or your speed is halved the next round when it hits a target.
Jesus.
So I'm gonna let it.
Master!
I'm going to
You
take
hear
that
coming
one
down the corridor.
I want to quickly investigate how these hellhounds are tied up.
Yep, sure. Roll investigation, but essentially it is very thick blackened chains that are
That's a net 20.
bolted. Nice.
So is there any weakness in the chains or the bolts, or like a point where there is a buckle or a strap?
Actually, when you look at this, you recognise the work of the blacksmith from Black Winter Castle, and you kind of scan a little bit. It's actually weakest at where it connects to the collar.
Would it be like is there a specific fastening piece that I could use a mage hand from a distance to release it?
Yeah, so essentially it would be a strength roll trying to unclasp the thing on the back of the collar. The chain that it attacks it to the wall is just heavy blast. Yeah.
Alright.
Orthanc, you now hear a couple of figures approaching.
Okay, I have a really stupid idea. Hide the corpse, drop the weapon, hide it behind the far side of the drum. I walk over to the door.
I'll
And-
go and do that while he's.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay,
I'll help out.
Oh yeah, I'll
Okay.
just try and drag it away.
Is there space behind the throne, behind the corpse?
I mean behind the drum, because the drum's massive.
The
It's
drum
in
is
the
like
ground,
50 feet
isn't
wide. No, it was above the ground.
Yeah.
At hobgoblin height.
Yes. Alright, cool.
I'll go over to the door and say, "Back, you maggots! Do we have a medic? He needs help!
Help!
Are you a medic?
No!
Go find one!"
Okay, that would be deception or intimidation, your choice.
Intimidation, because that's better, and I'm ugly. That's modified 18.
Alright, against a DC of 7. Oh, medic! Help!
Move it!
Yes! And they turn and off they go. Very nicely done. You've bought yourself a little bit of time. Yeah, the corpse itself, you can drag. It needs strength roll to move it.
Well, we're both doing that, so
Cool, with advantage.
I'll give you advantage.
Awesome. Brilliant.
Really good chipset.
Yeah, that'll work. How's a 22?
22 is fantastic as Gorstag and Dain start dragging this massive corpse, leaving a trail of black sludge blood, I must say. But
Prestidigitation.
nice, and Arkyan kind of cleans that shit up.
What we can do is perhaps try and lure in someone who's a medic or use it as a distraction. I don't know. While he's investigating, we can run in. I don't have any thoughts past, oh god, deter them for a few seconds.
In kind of like orc society, would they be like respectful of someone who came in and just murdered their leader? Like as if when we took his head and paraded around, would they be like, "You're our new boss now"? Would that be likely to work?
These just aren't orcs though. This was one of the lords of violence, so I think that might not stand.
Wouldn't that be like an orc times 10 then?
Just follow.
I mean, if the whole concept is like they follow like the strongest person, we've killed the strongest person.
Can we try
With
like
5 of
a...
us though.
Yeah.
There's no honor in that. From
Oh.
my point of view, I would just...
I mean, we can say that our orc friend here killed him in single combat.
Would I know that?
Roll history.
Okay. Oh, history. That's one that has a
But
0.
they're
That's
hobgoblins,
a
right?
6.
It's a 6.
Yeah.
Orcs in general, you know quite well, and they follow strength. Orcs that have been following a lot of violence who has not surfaced for 5,000 years is much more unpredictable.
I'm going to take the head in my bag, just in case we need it.
Okay,
I
it's
mean,
a big
It's tighter
globulus.
belt.
I think
Why I suggest it's not running is because we know that there are like slaves here that we should try and free.
I mean, we'd have to
Like, we have a-
disperse the army.
You now hear coming towards you, not any close proximity. No, please! We need heal. Heal.
Okay. I think we could fast walk out of here and act really casual and be like, "He's up that way. He needs help."
All right.
That's the best idea. Right?
Yeah.
I'm on board with
I
that.
agree.
Because now that we actually asked for a medic, it's probably not the time to then turn around and say, actually, yeah. So
Yeah.
yeah, I agree. Let's do that.
And just as you decide that, in comes one of the orcs that you'd send off, holding a hobgoblin by the scruff of the neck, and he's flailing with an amulet in his hand.
Give me that. I take the amulet and say, "Are you a medic?" To the hobgoblin.
Healing.
All right.
Where
But you
is-
stay back. To the guy holding him.
Why is the music stopped?
The boss ordered it. He's sick. That's why we need a medic.
I can help.
No, you can't. I say, get back!
I haven't seen you here before.
I haven't seen you either, but you look like the other shit around here, so fuck off.
Alright, one more intimidation roll.
Nice.
That's
It's a higher DC.
16.
DC of 14.
Nice.
You need this one. Say yes, say yes.
Yeah.
He throws him at your feet. We'll continue making weapons.
Of course.
And he turns, and off he goes.
Alright, to the little hobgoblin, I'm gonna make up some random medicinal herb I've never heard of and say, "Do you know this herb? Do you know the herb or not?" And I'm gonna describe, it's a green plant, it has little white flowers. Quick, we need some now! Go, go, go!
And as he runs at top speed, you hear him over and over again. "Woo, green, go, 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 go." And off he goes.
Holy fuck, run, holy
Alright,
fuck.
let's go, let's go.
Okay. As the party barrels out of the lair of the Ogre King, down to one of the lower levels of bridges. Essentially, this level is deserted, and you start making your way up where you had come from. After a short climb, about 2 levels, most of you get through without too much pay to mind. You, as a half-orc, you know, especially with a scar that just happens to match the one that the Ogre King bestowed upon his minions, get through with no problem. People just assume you're part of it. And your compadres, well, none of the hobgoblins are going to question you because they're of, you know, lower status. Some of the other orcs watch you, but it's the thing of social compliance. You walk around, you look confident, people will just believe you.
Yeah.
Essentially. However, as you climb, you find yourselves in one of the little, not like a town, but a small settlement of creatures, a workshop of kinds. And you walk past a couple of figures, humanoids and such, chained with a neck. And you can see this ogre. And he's just kind of punching these people into unconsciousness. As they start dangling, the chains kind of swinging. And no! A little hobgoblin pulls one of those amulets and presses it to the unconscious person. The person uses the white healing light and they, let me die. Not yet. Essentially, these orcs are just killing these people and reviving them over and over again. 2 of the people chained look very much like the 2 that sit opposite this table.
So would you like us to describe our characters?
Yes,
or?
please.
Okay. So you see a very short female gnome, quite skinny, long blonde hair, looking obviously apparently a little bit bloody and broken.
You're both on 1 hit point.
Oh, okay. That's probably something I should have written.
Don't spend all in one place.
That would be 1.
And
Oh, me?
yeah.
Really pale, sickly-looking humanoid with freckles all over the face and pretty much dark black hair, kind of stringy-looking but athletic.
And you just see this orcish hand grab that small figure by the ear, rank him, and put a blade to his throat. You don't die yet. Cuts his throat. The goblin steps forward, heals it once more. You find yourself unconscious and brought back. Now tell us, who hired you?
Fuck off!
Heal. Do you work for Froman?
Your mum!
What would you guys like to do?
So we're still inside the mountain.
Correct.
Are there other people that can see us?
At this point, it's a couple of hobgoblins that are administering the healing, and one of the largest orcs you've seen in the entire place that is doing the questioning.
Orthanc, we can't leave these people here. Either you talk to them or I'm going to.
I'll talk to him and I'll cast silence on the orc, and then I'll go up and hit him with my axe.
Sneak attack, roll to hit.
Okay. With advantage? Because he can't hear me? You can say no, you're welcome to say no. I did just cast silence on him.
I would say it would be, yeah, you're allowed to do it.
Okay.
With advantage.
That's 23.
That hits, roll damage. You don't die.
That's 14 slashing damage.
And it, cool. You don't die yet. Complete silence falls in this little bubble around this thing, and as he's swinging, he just gets cracked from behind. The back of his head. You guys see the pull a weapon. I need some initiative.
Alright.
I was like,
are we joining in
I was
on
like,
this
let me
initiative?
just
You can-
unshackle
yep.
my hand and...
We're not going to bring out the battle cam for this yet,
Oh, okay.
because it's a
that's
very
pretty-
small. It's a very small area.
That's pretty beautiful.
So these two are like chained to a wall?
Yeah,
Right
the
around the
neck.
neck?
It's actually kind of brutally, like, just slightly too high up that they kind of have to be on their tippy toes, but not like hanging. But
Okay.
okay,
Do we have any... Are these magical restraints?
no, just change.
Cool.
Yeah.
Is there anything on us? Probs not.
Not a lot. No.
None of my goodness. None of my goodies.
No.
Okay. Didn't think so.
Yeah, you're aware that some of your spells have not been working at this time in
Okay.
this place. Cool. 20 to 25. Okay, 15 to 20.
19.
All right. 15 to 20.
Oh,
That's-
goddamn.
10 to 15.
13. 11. 12.
Shit, hang on. 15.
13.
Okay. I'm just gonna write your real name.
Let me just
Okay.
slip out and kill someone.
Dain was 12.
11.
11.
Also just 4.
Orthanc was 12. Orthanc. And Will?
8.
Okay.
I got a 9.
Oh, sorry, I got it right. 9. Gorstag 8. You'll be happy to know that the ogre has the lowest initiative with a 6.
Wow.
So you all get to act before he does. Alright, so... You don't die yet. Complete silence. With him.
This does mean people within 20 feet can't cast if that needs a verbal
Yeah.
component, I will say.
Kesden, you're first to act. What would you like to do?
I'd like to try and pick the lock. I don't know. I don't have anything on me, but
So sleight of hand with disadvantage.
okay, cool.
Yeah. Immediately as this person, chained, bloodied, an inch from life, sees someone fuck up the guy that's been messing with so long, takes that moment and just starts trying to...
It's a 7.
Unfortunately, this thing is like quite strong, but you now see he's trying to break the restraints. You're up.
I just sort of looking around. I'm going to hold my action until my strengths are free, and I'm going to I don't know. I'm going to hold my action until I can attack the orc.
Cool. All right. Orthanc.
Really? I had 12.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Would you like another experience?
Yeah. I'll have a few actually, if that's alright. I want to try and push him onto the ground
Okay.
with a shove action.
Cool. All right.
So
I imagine that's a strength save for me.
it's contested athletics or acrobatics if you prefer.
Okay.
I got a modified 13.
Poof! Hits the ground. Silently.
Alright, and then I'll point to Dain and then at the guy on the ground.
And Dain, it's your initiative.
Oh, this is not very honourable.
That's my style, and you know that.
I do it, yeah, that's why we keep you around. So I will, with advantage, due to the prone target, and thank you for that, because that was not great. I hit, because I rolled 15, so that's...
Yep, that's enough.
Yeah.
Down comes the maul, I assume.
Yes.
Arcs through the air, but almost beautifully silently. Sailing.
And that is a 16.
Points of damage.
Oh.
You kind of... Has anyone ever studied the works of Jackson Pollock? Because currently the brain matter is your Pollock painting on the side of this bridge. Can you lift silence at any time?
Yeah, I think it's concentration.
Head just explodes silently. Blood shatters teeth. Bits of grey matter. Very nicely done.
What are all the hobgoblins up to that are around it?
Well, see, this is one of the lower levels, which is pretty much exclusively orcs torturing people. The higher levels is where the hive action is going on. That's when people are running back with weapons that they've stolen.
So the
The
ones that are
hobgoblins
healing these two?
healing the prisoners.
Oh, the ones behind you.
The ones that are healing these two?
Oh, yeah, that's still there. Terrified. They're not going to contest with a whole bunch of tall guys. They're just waiting to see what happens next.
Right.
One of them with an amulet dangling from his hand. What? Sorry.
I'll grab the amulet.
Okay, amulet of healing. Essentially gives a d4 of heal. So it's like a healing word, but with a touch component.
Is that what the one upstairs with the goblin, the ogre king had? When I demanded a medic, that one ran down?
Yeah. They've got a few of them.
Is it like once per day or one?
It works the same way as healing word, so it would be a cantrip for
Healing is
some
like- it's
or
not-
spell
yeah.
for
Okay. Yep.
So it's just 1d4 with nothing on top?
Right.
Yeah.
It's basically just used for bringing someone back right from the brink over and over again, as these two have experienced firsthand by the hands of these rather unsavoury characters here in the Englishman.
Can I search this orc and see if he's got any keys for the restraints?
Yeah, sure. Roll investigation.
That is an 11.
Orthanc, sorry, Gorstag.
I'm just going. Who are you?
And Gorstag grips forward, starts going through the pockets after a couple of seconds. Finger keys.
And is it just them? Just those two, or is there other prisoners here as well?
There's other camps of torture set up,
Yeah.
but in the one you're in, there's the only two.
All right. Well, I'll undo the shackles.
Cool. Ugh. The relief of being almost strangled for so long is alleviated as these things fall off you.
Thank you. Who are you people?
Well, you took it out of here. Move quickly. Come on.
Okay.
Just do it.
Okay, the
As
party.
we're walking.
Yeah.
No, I'll need to put the hobgoblins into the restraints.
Okay.
I would like to assist.
Alright. Strength, but no advantage because you're too weak to really give advantage
True.
at this point on one hit point.
Hey, that's true.
Right, so I'm gonna press the amulet of healing into them over and over and over again.
Cool.
So they're regaining 1d4 every time.
Cool.
Is that how it works?
It uses a spell slot.
Oh,
If you can't use... Yeah.
It's like a...
It's okay, we're still standing.
Yeah, it looks like you're going to have to get them out of here when they're quite weak.
Alright.
Unless you guys have healing spells that you want to use.
Yeah.
Oh.
I've literally one slot left, so if you can heal one of them, I can heal the other.
Yep. I'll shoot
I've got all my
you
first level
15.
spots as well.
Thank you.
Okay, so you guys, it's been about 4 days since you were chained up. You haven't been fed, you've just been kept alive through the use of the arcane. But as this group of ragtag people come by and free you from your shackles, and then press their hands and this healing light, you, for the first time in 4 days, manage to stand on your own feet, non-consumed by extreme exhaustion and pain.
Whichever one of you two I was healing takes 6 points of healing.
Woo!
Cool. So, the rest of the Endless Mountain...
Which one of you guys is lower?
What?
Another 1 point there.
You get 1 point.
Woo!
So, looking up to the next couple of levels, you can now see...
Are there any similar more torture camps around? Sorry, on the same level that we're on?
Not on this level, there's another 2 or 3 on the level above you.
Let's back up.
Are we? Sorry, I'm confused about that. So, are we going up to get out, or
Yeah,
we?
yeah.
So we go.
So the,
Oh, going up, right,
the entrance
right.
was up here, and you guys had come down to find the Ogre King deep within the mountain.
Do we know where our weapons and stuff would have been taken?
Yeah.
Cool. Do you mind if we grab our stuff?
Is it far?
No, it's another level up and down one of the corridors.
Just one level in a corridor.
It's the same place that you guys had seen when they describe it as all those big carts of gold and platinum being carried.
Alright.
Yep, no, that's fine. Yep, we're going that way anyway.
That will be a pretty well guarded area, though, won't it?
I'll do it. Don't worry about it. We'll get there when we get there.
We need to go up anyway so we can see what it looks like in a worst case scenario. We can bail.
Okay, so as you guys ascend to the next level, essentially you see a matrix of bridges this time. This is one of the more active areas of this mountain. You've still got the scaffolds on any side of the mountain with hobgoblins still doing their work and chipping away, expanding the territory. You've got a couple of bases where there are crates and such, and a couple of bridges that go into tunnels inside the walls. You see people, hobgoblins running back and forth, some of them with small magical items, some of them with just little things that they've pilfered from around, I suppose. And yeah, you see a little bit of torture implements, and down one of the corridors where these guys are pointing, there's this fiery kind of glow as people are bringing back empty carts from that and kind of putting them to the side. Orcs walking around, occasionally just punching hobgoblins.
Do we see any slaves on this level?
Yes.
Yep.
Further to the right, near one of the scaffolds that is building into the wall, you just see the blacksmith, who you guys would have not seen, but there's a blacksmith. You can tell by his leather apron that he's wearing. This is a big fucking dude. He's a hulking dude. Somehow they've gotten him chained up, and he's looking pretty ragged as well.
The scaffolding.
Yeah.
Is that scaffolding that actually supports the walls, or is that scaffolding that
That's
just allows access to it?
Yeah. So it's to support the hobgoblins who are chipping away.
Are they made of wood?
Yeah. I see where you're going.
Yep. All right.
What are the guards looking like who are guarding the blacksmith?
It's just one dude because he's chained up entirely, and he is doing the same thing he was doing for them. But this time it's a bit more brutal. He's got small needles that he's inserting into their fingertips.
Yeah.
I'm going to
Blades
cast
and
burning
such.
hands.
Yeah.
I was going to stealth through, but you do that. You do you, babe.
So your newly freed compadre takes 2 steps forward and kind of goes, I got this.
And now I need to get the details for burning hands.
So essentially you can hear the blacksmith squealing. Ah!
Okay. I'm trying to aim it so that I'm only getting him.
Okay.
So that's going to be a dex save.
Okay. Ooh, nat 20.
Okay, so that's going to be...
Imagine it's half damage.
Yes. Oh, that could have been better. 4 points of fire damage.
While she's doing that, can I sneak or stealth around him?
Roll stealth. Your 2 friends, your 2 new compadres.
Net 20 plus 8.
Nice, I imagine. So essentially, one of them says, there's a bolt of fire that streaks across this guy, who's just inserting a rather long bamboo shard into this guy's finger and goes, I said, we want it made. No! And there's just a scape of fire, and he kind of, what the? But as he turns, he sees nothing as Kasdan ducks low and scuttles just through the shadows, right beneath his line of sight, and behind him now. He sees you guys. What the fuck was that?
Gonna use
forward.
As he's a subtle mage hand to see if I can undo the shackles of the blacksmith while he's looking towards us.
Sleight of hand.
Can I try and find my stuff?
Would
Yep.
that be a spellcasting check? Because I've used
Yeah.
my mage hand?
Yeah.
Will I be rolling
That's an
investigation?
18.
Investigation, yeah. Cool. Immediately you guys see behind this orc who is now pointed mostly his eyes at you. You kind of, as stealthily as you can, just kind of...
I'm spending a sorcery point, so I don't do any components whatsoever. It just
Oh, cool.
happens.
So you kind of just watch, and behind you guys can see this hand, just spectral hand appear, and the blacksmith goes, but you just quite heavily fastened, and then just fuck it, just pulls it off. The blacksmith lands, looks around. The ogre who's now got his back to him and goes, "Thanks." The guy turns back, and the blacksmith just takes a few steps forward. And you go, "What the fuck?" And there's a sword that the blacksmith has picked up, and it just goes right through the ogre's throat. And the blacksmith kind of holds it there, and just kind of puts it back and forward a little bit, and turns it, pulls it so he's right to his ear. He says, "And how do you like it?" And then drops him, and he just tumbles into the darkness.
I love your work.
He puts out a hand. He nearly dislocates your shoulder.
Yeah.
19 to find our stuff.
It's not here. It's
Damn
it's
you,
down,
Ollie!
it's down one of the corridors where the gold and platinum has been taken. He turns to you guys.
About it so far.
Thank you. Spits blood. Look, don't know who you are. Let's get the hell out of here. Weapons. He's got a smelter, furnace, gold, platinum, steel.
I'd just like
He's
to come
melting
out
it
of
down.
like nowhere next to from like the shadows next to him. I can't find me in Penelope's things.
Oh, items are kept with the furnace. They're gonna melt them.
Is it guarded?
Yes, not heavily. They didn't expect anyone to get this far.
What are they melting them down for?
Weapons, armor. Ogre King wanted a whole new set.
I don't need to hear much. I've stealthily sprinted off to try and...
Do you know how many more slaves are kept in this?
They're being brought from all over Ukast. Anyone that he finds useful. I was acquired to make weapons. These, I imagine, were required to carry out his deeds.
What would happen to the power hierarchy here, say, if the Ogre King was removed from power?
The ones that remain in the mountain are bound to the Ogre King. They gave an oath of fealty. By blood.
So, if that oath was no longer in place, would they turn on each other?
No. It's tricky. They're brutes, beasts. They don't think with logic, they think with their dicks and their fists.
Yeah, exactly. So if there's no overarching power control,
Sometimes
that-
both at once.
yeah. If there is no power that they are bound to anymore, surely
They'll
fights
kill.
and arguments would break out pretty soon throughout this mountain.
Depends on how they see it. If their loyalty is unwavering, they'll fight and kill anyone that is the one that brought down their masters. Instead, if you say that one of the sects, the Mudbloods, the Stone Fists, was responsible, that would start a brawl of epic proportions against one.
Alright.
Oh, let's go to that forge
Source of
and
chaos.
get your weapon. And
Forge is this way. And he starts travelling down. You've already stealthed your way there.
It's a net one, but it's a 9. So I was just...
Yeah. Unfortunately, the guards that are on the smelting room are a bit more alert, and you also notice a less dullness in their eyes as you approach. Wait, who are you?
Are they hobgoblins, orcs, or orcs?
But some of the quicker-witted ones.
How many?
So,
I'm going to cast Charm Person.
all right. What's my save?
And it's going to be at second level. It's going to be a Wisdom save
Okay.
for both of them.
I imagine that does not make it. Oh, for both of them, yeah.
20.
First one does not make it. Second one might make it with 13.
That is my spell save.
So the other one kind of, who are you? And then just from behind you, you just see this guy kind of a little bit, and his eyes kind of cloud over, and he goes, "Friend."
Yes. Now, can you please maybe take this guy back? Just can you please let us through?
Sure.
Thank you.
Step aside. And he just looks like he's had too much dream leaf.
So, dude.
How long does that last?
I think that's until the spell ends.
So it's about a minute?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'd say so.
You guys have a minute.
Cool. Well, what do we see once we're past it?
So in the room itself are several massive furnaces, and you just see the last of the platinum being poured, and we're talking like, I don't know, a couple of million gold all up is being poured into this fire where they're just turning to molten slack. You've got some other guys there that are building molds, and the stuff that's getting made, man, it's massive and it's highly crafted. You've got a couple of elven make who are chained to the walls. They're there to design. Some of the finest crafters who have just been kidnapped. The stuff that the Ogre King was trying to build here, the stuff that he was trying to smelt, he would, if you had have come after he'd finished, his AC would have been 20, 25. This is the nicest, most heaviest plate that no man or mortal that you've seen would ever be able to stand under the weight of. However, you do believe the Ogre King, if he had it, he would have been able to. He would have been able to stand, even fight in this massive plate that's being made.
Do you see your things?
Can I roll to see my
You
things?
can.
While that's all going on, I'm questioning the blacksmith about the mudbloods
Politics.
and their like the mudbloods, and if they have a specific thing that marks them among the rest of the orcs.
Bloodnut skin is dark brown.
I'll hand you the head.
Oh, I see how it is. Really?
Oof. Yeah. So you said there's a couple of people chained up in here.
Couple of elves.
Are there anybody actively watching it?
No, the two guards.
Is it just the
well,
two
you
guards?
got the couple of guys who are pouring the last of the platinum,
Yeah.
but they're about to leave with the
Yeah.
camp.
All right. Cool. Well, I'll whistle nonchalantly until
Okay.
those guys leave.
Gorstag strolls like a child in a paddock
Yeah.
over to the elves, who just kind of, please,
Sorry,
I'm not
friends.
going to help.
Friends, we're going to get you out of here. Just be quiet. Do you know where the keys to your shackles are?
It's a 17.
Yeah, you find all your stuff, like there's a whole bunch of weapons and,
Cool.
and things, and it looks like anytime there's been like a goblin camp that's been raided, it's very crudely formed metal, but basically he's only using it to melt and make finer stuff.
Cool.
But there's a lot of different things, a lot of different bits of armor, weapons, so you have to do some more investigation to find your actual stuff as you guys rummage through. The elves, however,
Nat 20.
nice, and you find it almost instantly,
Cool.
and get it back up. Both of you get all your stuff back.
I'd like to hand Penelope her things and then go to pick the locks of the elves that
Sleight
are
of hand.
missing out.
And of course, Doug, as you're questioning this person, we don't know.
21.
Wow. And then Kirsten comes behind and just,
Thank you.
no, thank you. He puts a hand on your shoulder and casts guidance. So D4 to any roll after you roll,
Nice.
as you choose. Let's get the hell out of here. The blacksmith kind of steps forward. And as you guys wonder, he's like, what did they do to you? Mostly visions. Torturous. I've captured a few mages who have already turned. Well, that's not good. As you guys exit, you now see the guard who had been charmed kind of go,
Oh.
wait.
I guess I do it. Well, no, I'm not going to do it
On the
again
way
anymore.
out
I'm
the
gonna
door,
cast
can
friends
I
on him.
disguise
Okay.
self as a mudblood orc?
Go for it, yeah.
I'm going to cast friends on him, which lasts
Okay.
for a minute.
What's my DC? Save?
It just happens.
Oh, that's right, we're going to flex save.
So it's concentration, but he just thinks that I'm a really good friend of his.
You tried to trick me. Hey, mate.
I'm really sorry. I really wanted to get my things back, and
He
Let's
puts a knife right to your throat.
I
Hey,
step.
we are very good friends. He is also a friend of mine, which through proxy means he should be a friend of you as well.
Then why did he trick me?
She.
Why did she trick me? Sorry.
Known pronouns.
I just like games. I'm really sorry. I thought you would find it funny.
I remember you. They brought you in. And
No.
you, how did you get free?
Sorry, what was my +2 attack on the Dagger of Cold? Sorry.
Oh, right, Dagger of Cold is
Yeah,
plus
good.
3 to hit.
That's 3? Alright, I am going to stab the person who is...
Right, roll the hit.
with the Dagger of
This will be advantage because you're doing it surprise.
Nice.
Oh shit, that is not too good. That is a 12?
No.
No.
How did you get out? And you go to swing.
What
The hell are you doing? He's going to go and try and push you off the ledge, so he's going to roll a hit. Nope, not going to do it though. He just goes to shove you backwards, but you kind of just dig your feet down.
Based off that
Is he-
description, the blacksmith. Sorry.
Is he wearing metal armor?
Based off the description the blacksmith gave us, are they both from the same orc clan?
I'm going to roll for it.
And I'll ask the blacksmith as well. Is there a specific faction
Yes,
of
they are.
orcs that controls the smelters?
Sorry?
Like, is there a specific like blacksmithing orc faction that does the smelting?
The smelting itself is the job of people that are short in gold. They just pour it into the furnace.
Ah, okay.
But the things that are being actually crafted are being crafted through a combination of kidnappies and, yeah, some more.
Are they Stonefist or Mudblood?
Stone fists.
I reckon we'll just start a faction war.
What
There's
are you-
enough mind-altering effects and stuff like that on us.
Alright, I will show the king's head and I will say, the Mudbloods are victorious! The king is dead! And throw the head at their feet.
And it rolls grotesquely, its tongue lolling out of its mouth. They kind of sit down, stare at each other. Our lord,
And then I'll point out the door and say,
We
Correct,
are-
Mudblood is the new king.
And off they go. And you hear them chanting and screaming their war cry. Ook Moss! And as that echoes through the chamber, you guys know this place has been built to carry sound as design of the drum of Dain, the war drum. And now, Woof Moss! Just getting chanted, reverberates around this whole thing. The hobgoblins, quite cleverly, most of them you see start hiding, aware of what's coming next. As every ogre in the place, shoot weapons, clubs, some of them put on helms. And you just hear like a cacophony of conversations, such like, "This will be good. Can't wait to get that one. He's been not going to be funny all day."
Can we please get out of here?
I think now's our time to leave.
This is quite fun for me to watch, in all honesty.
You're like now running along these paths as you see orcs like being thrown and toppled to the side. One of them actually crashes into one of the bridges in front of you, breaks it in half, and the rope's kind of down. You kind of go, okay, this way, and start going down another side. You're just walking past orcs, and they don't fight with honor, grabbing each other's ears and boom, nutting them off the sides.
Just like home.
Weapons into throats. There's actually one who's pulled out a lung and is currently like wearing it as a hat.
And going, oh god.
Bagpipes.
Yeah. You see some of these guys are just putting fingers through eyeballs.
Who's this?
It's gory. There's, as you walk from some of the higher levels, just limbs also just kind of topple off to the side. But it's
I've
just
seen enough. Can we go?
Sound of fists hitting fists.
Right, let's get out of here.
Okay.
I'll drop my disguise so I no longer look like a mudblood.
Okay, as you guys make your way to the entrance of the Endless Mountain where you guys came in, essentially you get past pretty much everyone without too much trouble. And once you're out,
On the way out, is there a way to collapse the tunnel behind us?
you can try.
Like, is there scaffolding?
It's
or
just
anything
been
like
it's just been carved. So you could probably try and blast upwards and
There are
get
still
that?
slaves.
No, I don't have anything powerful enough for that.
okay.
I know I'd rather seal some slaves in with the orc horde than release another horde of evil creatures on the world like vampires.
I don't have a leader to tie them together. Anyway, we need to move on.
They also look like they're doing a good hand of taking care of themselves for us.
Beside you, some
take better care if
hobgoblins.
they were sealed in with each other.
Some hobgoblins are escaping with you, realizing this is their moment to escape what is essentially slavery for them as well. But once you get outside, whew, beautiful, bright, sunny day. The clouds high in the sky.
Is the convoy of creatures still on the mountain road?
The what's called blockage has been cleared,
Yeah.
and it looks like they've already come in
Okay.
and have done their stuff.
So there aren't any rocks above the entrance we could push down in front of the
You certainly can try. With a bit of strength. It's follow this right.
Yeah, I would like to seal them in just because they'll be able to push it out of the way eventually, but it'll buy some time.
So as you guys like to sprint out through the only entrance to this place that you guys know of, into an unassuming day of clear skies, a couple of clouds, beautiful bird song, and a nice view of the forests. Dain can his weight, turns around and swings.
Yep.
I'll help you out with that.
And yeah, I don't necessarily need that help.
I'll offer to help you out with that.
Do you need any?
How's it 25?
25 is the sound of metal on rock. Boom! And in fact, from inside you also hear a couple more rocks.
It's the perfect intersection of masonry and smiting.
And the sounds of the war that is now raging there is suddenly muffled by the rocks. You guys make your way, I assume, down the side of the Endless Mountain.
Yep.
And you're now at the base of it in a rather beautiful kind of winter morning. Afternoon.
We don't see anyone else around us, like no other like convoys or anything.
Doesn't look like it at this time, but you do know you're on the main route into the mountain.
Alright, I think now's the time for pleasantries. My name is Orthanc. I'm an ugly half-orc with a shaved head and a scar down my right eye, and scale mail, and with a guitar that's also a great axe on his back.
I see that.
This is
Arkyan. I am a half-elf, taller than most half-elves, with dark hair, and you see kind of a stony grey eye with covered in arcane runes stuck into one of my eye sockets.
I'm Gorstag Edward, a young half-elf and cleric of Palor. Pleased to make your acquaintance. And I assume you're already acquainted with my great lord Palor, but I'm happy to talk about him at great length if you wish.
That's enough of that, I think.
I have some reading material here with me as well, actually, if you're interested.
I think that's fine, but it's a pleasure to meet you all.
I'm Dain of the Dankles. You wouldn't happen to have demon sympathies, would you?
I'm sorry?
Correct answer is no.
No.
He will force you feed you his blood. Just so you're aware.
He actually,
Yeah, actually, I'll bring out one of my baggie and hand you the vial, and I'll cut you one fresh.
Yeah.
Do I have a spare potion vial?
I'm sure you
I
do.
think I do. Yeah.
So essentially, you're handed a small vial of blood.
So yeah, you won't know what it is until I make one for her, and then I
Right.
think you'll work it out.
Enjoy.
What?
Save that for when you need it.
Okay.
You almost certainly will need it.
Wait, are we all
Hang
carrying
around with us long enough.
I think we all had vials.
You all
of
had a
blood.
vial.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Sick. Awesome.
So essentially, the party steals themselves into one
We
of the
should just
nearby
make like a
forests.
tapping system for them or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like
No,
whenever you open the tap, it just like you can fill stuff up.
we've got a blacksmith, and I intend to get a weapon that can cut me when I swing it, and
Nice.
has like
Covered in
grooves
blood.
for the
Yeah.
blood to go
Sick.
out into the
That's awesome.
blade.
We'll explain that later anyway.
Yeah.
Can I test for poison?
Yes, you can.
What kind of roll is it?
Medicine.
I'm immune
Are
to
you giving
disease. I'll
Dain
have
an
you
STI
know.
check at this point?
Are you sure it's poison?
Is it?
I mean,
I'm
I'm proficient like with poison because that's my thing, but I
I'm
don't
gonna
have
do.
proficient with
I'm just
medicine.
gonna do an Arcana check on the vial.
Sure. Yeah. Essentially, the ones you've just rescued are understandably dubious about the potions that you've handed them.
I got a 2.
13.
Looks like blood.
Thank you.
It'll all become clear in time.
So,
Don't worry.
okay.
Right.
Don't drink it right away. Save it for a special event, you know.
Yeah.
Or
You're,
maybe drink it right now so we know that you are not
Oh.
infested.
No.
I'm not.
We've only just
drinking
met these lovely
someone's
people.
blood.
Yeah,
That's the
forced to
whole
drink
point. Let's start checking people when we meet them rather than after they turn on us. Like,
And someone who's turning on us.
Yeah, I know,
Oh,
I know,
yes,
exactly.
yeah.
So no, it's
gagging.
safe, and I'll drink a bit and hand it back.
I'm not drinking your blood.
You're not drinking anyone's blood.
Oh man, this is gonna be cool.
Just keep it. You'll know when you need it.
I'll just pop it in my little like series of poisons and potions inside my.
So how did you guys?
Still warm,
as
so I
Kasdan opens
don't-
as Kasdan opens his cloak, you can see just many different small vials of things.
Like from here down the bloody thigh. Like
Yeah.
just
Ah, so you're a healer too. A lot of healing potions I see you've got there.
A chef! You're a chef, that's what it is.
sure.
Alcoholic.
An alcohol! Stay off my ship!
I would just like to point out, as the DM, Shiver, who was summoned by Ark within the mountain, is still up.
Yep.
Just saying.
So how did you both?
I thought your ship didn't have any alcohol in it.
I'm not
Yeah, actually,
one for
how
drinking.
did we end up in the Endless Mountain?
So these guys tell a story of being essentially
Penelope
two.
tells a story.
Penelope tells the story of two trackers that had originally come from Blackwinter Castle. From an ashback, they were commanded to explore the land. Much like you guys were, only in track of a couple of creatures, great mythical creatures that had been essentially kidnapped from some of the, not zoos, but collectors. Essentially a couple of high-level creatures, and you guys do remember that a lot of those were on the way to the Ogre King, had been, snatched from certain kingdoms, and these two were charged with finding them and bringing them back. However, upon traversing through Blackwinter Forest, they had been, in the night, poisoned and dragged,
Doubt it.
with the Ogre King's intent to torture them for knowledge about Blackwinter.
What? Oh, sorry. Are you?
No, you go ahead.
I was going to say, well, we're heading back to Blackwinter anyway, right? So we're travelling back to Blackwinter anyway. I assume you'd probably want to return there as well. So
Yeah.
journey with us.
Is there somewhere we can rest first?
Oh, absolutely. We're all. I think we do all need to find a place to rest. I do, definitely.
Okay. Yeah.
I vote we move away from the main route up to the evil lair anyway.
So, are we surrounded by forest at the moment, or are we like in the mountain pass,
around
or-
the mountains are mostly forest. Yeah, it's essentially one very large mountain in the range of forests, and a few smaller ones, but yeah.
Yeah, so should we move in the direction of Blackwinter a little bit and then find somewhere to make camp?
That sounds good.
Do you need
Before
any
we
Far off the
go,
road.
Yeah.
can I crane my neck and listen as hard as I can for the sounds of orcs screaming in pain?
Oh yeah, roll perception.
Excellent.
So
I'm gonna give a hand
That's
to
a
him.
12?
You're not sure if it's your imagination or if it's actually of sounds of things being torn limb from limb,
It's
but you
just
certainly.
as satisfying.
I just sigh a little bit and then close my eyes and turn away.
You
So
seem
I'm just
happy with that. I'm
climbing
glad
up
you've
on
found
the-
peace. That's good.
Yeah.
The light of pain over
Yeah,
takes
Exactly.
everyone.
That's how it's obviously,
There's peace and honesty in orc blood. One way or another, it finds its way out.
So as you guys head essentially northwest, which is your best guess of how to find your way back.
I'm crossing my fingers that the druids in this forest aren't dicks. Or demons.
Oh, we've got a weapon with us.
We're very bad track record of druids not being dicks. So.
Yeah, exactly.
We know one.
Yes,
Our druid is good. But
yeah. Although he's been summoned to fire some.
Yeah.
So you guys head for quite some time away from the English Mountain, northwest, towards what? Can you everyone roll history, please?
16.
I'm not rolling well today.
Net 1.
That is
Critically
I am not from here.
With Orthanc being the only one that really knows where they're going, towards the ruins of Celafor, which was an ancient dwarven city, largely now believed to be simply stone buildings and such. But the outlying forests around the ruins of Celafor are thick and enough, certainly, to build a small camp away from any kind of trade route that you might have seen going towards the English Mountain.
Okay. What time of day is it?
It's now about 4 o'clock in the afternoon.
Okay, and would I know based off that if the old dwarven city is abandoned, uninhabited at this point?
It's supposed to be, yeah.
How many hours away from it are we?
3 or 4.
Perhaps we could rest and approach under the cover of darkness just to make sure that it is still empty.
Seems reasonable.
Cool, well, if everyone wants to take a long rest.
Yep.
Alright, as the party makes a small camp in the forests around the ruins of Celafor, you find a place that is easily escapable in terms of lots of routes out, but not too open in that people will be able to see you. Unfortunately, your druid is not with you, so druid crafting beds out of the trees is out of the question. Instead, you go the old-fashioned route and essentially make little hammocks and what you can with rope, and find eventually a nice little camp where you can all rest up and regain hit points and spell slots. Who is taking the first watch? Gorstag, please roll perception.
Natural 20.
Please roll religion.
19, actually, plus 4 is 23.
Cool. You immediately, as you scan the surrounding area on your first watch, you realise that there are several creatures in this forest. Nothing too terrifying or anything like that. However, there are a couple of things that might attack or kill bears and such prevalent in this forest. You can tell that by some of the trade tracks and things that are around. You also think that there doesn't look like there's any kind of druid circle within this forest, as there's nothing that looks inherently like a civilization or anything like that. It looks largely unkempt. You also get a strange, quite unsettling feeling that there's been something through here recently that moved with great speed, as you can kind of just see a little path very quickly made. You're not sure what that is though. As you kind of sit, as you hear the snoring of the rest of your party as they kind of, Orthanc in his sleep kind of goes, kittens, and I just think for the juxtaposition of what happened. Arkyan's eyes slightly humming even in his sleep, being kind of close to death dark, it's still kind of going. Cool. Dain, who's in his kind of going, if I throw the blood, maybe I should. And these two fall into sleep, deep sleep almost immediately, having been tortured for some time. You then, as the sounds of the forest and the sounds of your party kind of acclimate to each other, get a sense of the light of Pelor, and you hear a couple of words that are echoed through your being, and it just says, "He's fallen. I'm sorry." Who's taking the next watch?
I'll do it.
Cool. Roll perception as Gorstag climbs into a knapsack type thing, I suppose. A sleeping bag, makeshift sleeping bag.
That is a 16.
Cool. Dain, you make some of the same observations. This is a forest full of creatures, as it is wild and unkempt. However, nothing too menacing. Certainly you don't see or feel anything that's going to attack and rip you to shreds. However, like Gorstag, you get the sense that something's been through here recently.
Is it sort of a big flattening that looks like maybe a snake was?
It's a lot more subtle than that. It looks like something very nimble has tracked its way through this part. But yeah, it's not like there's a huge clear path. There's just a couple of leaves that have been trodden on, and a couple of sticks that are bent. You know, it's really your survival knowledge that allows you to see this.
It has feet. It's not a snake.
No. So,
Good observation.
who's taking,
Survival tips from me.
That's a great quote. As feet, it's not snake. Right, who's taking next watch?
I'll take the third one.
Cool, roll investigate. Perception as Dain falls back to sleep.
Investigation?
Mhm.
13.
Perception,
Oh,
sorry.
no, 4. Oh. No,
I don't know why I said investigation.
15.
15? Cool. Yeah, there's not too much that happens on your watch. However, you're the one that is awake as the sun finally dips behind the horizon and dusk around you. Beautiful blues and purples. And a small last-ditch effort of the sun as blazes of red and gold kind of adorn the skies before it sinks into darkness. As soon as it sinks into darkness, however, you hear whispers on the wind from your eye and from the forest
Fuck. Okay.
that just have very menacing tones. Essentially, a warning from the arcane within you and a warning from the forest around you.
Does it feel like an immediate warning of danger or more like an oppressive presence that's in this forest?
Looming through.
And if I wake people up, we lose long rest?
Yep.
I'll levitate into one of the trees nearby
Mhm.
and see if I can see anything around us.
So, as you kind of get this just sense that there's something wrong in the tremors of the lines of the arcane in this forest, some kind of warning comes from you, from your surroundings. Your eye just kind of pulls you upwards, and you, levitate to the top of the trees. Roll perception with advantage.
Oh, this is
Oh, wow.
a 5.
Wow,
I rolled a 2 and a 3.
that is really unlucky. You see
I don't
nothing?
see shit.
No, you see a couple of
Alright.
tops of trees and a few birds flying around.
Alright, I go down and I wake up. Who do I know is perceptive?
I have no idea. I don't know your
Yeah.
stats.
Shiver's not here.
No, Shiver has been
But
summoned.
Fate's still here.
Yeah.
Fate's perceptive.
Yeah.
Alright, I'll go wake up Fate. I go, Fate. There's something in this forest. I have a sense of danger. Could you have a look around?
Sure. You're not just saying this to fuck with me, are you?
Oh, please. You're used to being awake late at nights all the time.
Nice. All right. Cool. There it is. Okay. So Fate goes into full scanning mode. Okay. It's actually got really poor perception.
Oh.
Yeah. Unfortunately, does not manage to see anything. You're dreaming. You're imagining it. Fate goes back to sleep.
Is the sense of danger getting worse?
Not getting worse. No.
I'll wait it out.
Okay. Next watch.
I guess I will take the next watch.
Arkyan, you slip back into sleep. It takes you about an hour.
I'll let him know the sense of danger that I feel.
Cool.
Sure, I'm a female gnome.
Roll some perception. As you wearily realise
8.
you see very little. In fact, you kind of just watch birds for a while. Yeah, beautiful creatures. Next watch. No, that would be it. That would be enough. There'll be enough time. The morning. No, sorry. You awake at maybe 4 or 5 in the morning. Sky's still quite black. Forest very cold. You can see the breath in front of you as you all kind of stir and start packing up your things.
Is
Okay.
the blacksmith and those 2 elves we free still with us?
Yeah.
So we went to sleep around 4 or 5, right?
Yep.
With 8 hours? So it'd be like 1 in the morning?
That makes more sense.
Perfect cover of darkness?
Yeah.
That's kind of what it's going.
So, sorry, yes. Rewind a bit. 1 a.m. Alright.
So we have about 5 hours of darkness if we want to scout around and check out this fortress.
Okay, well, why are we scouting the fortress?
It's kind of what we do. We just randomly walk into things and then check it out. There's usually something we can do there.
It's up to
That's
you.
it.
We're going to roll history on the Dwarf fortress.
Yes.
Yeah. Right.
I'll join you on that one.
That is a 15.
14?
Okay.
19 for me.
Okay. Gorstag, in fact, you've heard stories of this from the Temple of Duskin in the north. Ruins of Salafor. The 3 dwarven kings that were ruling around this time were essentially an ancient descendant of King Thromin from Blacksteel and what was called the Black Dwarf, who was supposed to rule Salafor, and at its time was more underground than above ground in terms of almost a catacomb of cities beneath the ground. there was largely constructed what was a farce to lure people into a sense of security. The top of the ruins of Salafor, you would imagine, would be looking a lot less grand. And then when people go, oh, we can take this place up from the ground, mercenaries spring into action. That's pretty much all you know.
Cool. Well, I'll relate that to the rest of the party.
Cool.
Do we know if... Sorry, did you say Black Dwarf? Or...
Yes, the Black Dwarf.
Alright, but they're not...
That was
Do we know
years and years
do
and
we
years
know
ago.
if they are Dark Dwarfs? Or...
No, that was just the name of their clan, the Black Dwarfs. But these were, I don't know, a couple of thousand years ago.
Yeah, cool.
I have a question for the short one and the chef. When was the last time you saw Throm?
A week ago.
Yeah, about a week ago, I guess.
About a week ago, Arkyan.
I knew you were going to do that.
When was the last time we saw Throm? I'm not actually sure how long we've been away.
About
A couple of weeks.
a week, and, yeah, two,
Yeah.
3.
2 or 3. Alright.
Yeah. Took us about a week to get out here.
Yeah, because we do know that something's gone wrong there. Do we want to dally around with the Dwarven Ruins or head straight back?
Did we ever get a message back from Zook? Because we left a bird with him that he could reach us on. Did
Yeah.
that bird ever come back to us?
No, not yet.
I think we should head back. We've had a lot of ill omens. I don't feel comfortable wandering around a forest without our
I would
resident
very
druid.
much like to go back home.
Yeah, I think that's probably a good idea. I mean, don't get me wrong, love Dwarven Ruins as much as the next man. But I think we should probably just head straight back.
You guys can always come
Surely
home.
if something was awry in Blacksteel, Zook would have found a way to get in contact with us immediately.
Well, unless something isn't too awry.
Oh, but it was Shiver's bird, so the bird would have gone back to Shiver, who's not here.
Yeah.
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah.
And we have some odd reports about if Thromin is there or not, or if he's responding to our messages, or if somebody's pretending to be him responding to our messages.
Okay.
Oh, you didn't see any vampires in the night, did you?
Vampires?
Did we?
You did not see.
No.
Yeah.
No, just checking.
Oh, you meant during... No.
Yeah.
Just checking. Okay, that's good.
Cool.
That's all good news.
Yeah, good. How far away are we from Blackwinter at this point?
That would be about a week.
About a week's travel, okay. Well,
I know, we could spend 4 or 5 hours checking out these ruins. It's nothing out of a week.
Until sun up, at least then we might be able to find a trail more easily.
I agree with that, actually.
Okay.
But if you
Or
check
we
out
could
the
even
ruins, what
follow
do
the
you-
trail
Are they
that we found in
dangerous?
this forest to see what's leaving these
Most
tracks through.
definitely.
Don't worry about it.
Yeah, that's true, actually.
Yeah.
That is a good point as well.
So
yeah.
the trail that we've noticed in here that's being left by the subtle creature, we could try and follow that and see where it leads as well.
Something quick.
I myself do not feel extremely comfortable walking around at night in the forest, knowing that there's an extremely stealthy creature wandering around our camp, especially with the sense of doom and foreboding.
Might be one of those vampires that we let out.
Yeah, exactly.
The blacksmith says, "You know what? Be much more use to the party with a weapon."
Oh, I usually save this for defenseless animals, but here you go. I hand him my light hammer.
And he immediately starts inspecting it. You need to get the hilt reattached.
I
It's
know.
loose.
Well, if you're here, perhaps you could do that in your spirit.
He's already started.
So, where were you three from? We're talking to the elves. And
The elves are actually from the city of Tyne.
Yeah.
Which is where the man who had the book for Thromin was from.
That's right. Yeah. And the blacksmith.
Blacksmith's from Blackwinter.
Alright.
Yeah.
Well, we.
No, sorry,
Like,
Black Steel on the east of Ugas.
Ah, okay. Yeah.
Why did I name them the
Yeah.
same?
For so long, I thought you were just saying Blackwinter.
Yeah, I just-
No,
yeah.
it's another place. Isn't it?
I'll ask the elves. So, what are your trades? Are you warriors? Are you hunters? Mages?
Right.
So back to the
We are artisans of weaponry and armor. Our craft lies in enchantments and making weapons that can move quickly, quietly. Have you ever seen the work of a finely crafted elven blade?
I sure have, actually, in the City of the Reigning Sun. We have quite a lot of them.
A lovely place.
Have you heard much of them recently?
Recently, well, they say that the city of the reigning sun enters its golden age.
Oh, awesome.
Where would you like to travel to the elves? We're heading to Blackwinter, but if you want to head back to Tyne, that's understandable.
I
You can
think
make your
we
own
need to
route.
get back to our city and tell the people there what has transpired. What are you? Do you have a name?
Do we have a name?
Yeah, that comes in lights.
Yeah, with a Blackwinter Knights. And then can we do it like a group photo?
With Blackwood Knights. Hashtag blessed.
Yeah.
We all do the damn.
Yeah.
Yeah.
no.
all the parties simultaneously, synchronistically, just dab.
Yeah.
With the black one's like, I don't even care. That's happening. I don't know what's happening.
That's canon now.
Yeah, that's our.
I didn't
resist.
camera.
Keston just steps away.
Well, anyway, I mean, you're welcome to travel with us as long as you want, but if you wish to return immediately to your home city, that's your prerogative.
If you ever need a favour of the elven crafts in the City of Time, it is yours.
What are your names?
Gwendwa.
And?
Liesta.
Take some rations and have safe travel.
Good luck. And they vanish at speed. The blacksmith has now reattached the hilt. He's taken it off and put it back, and it's now looking quite nice.
Very nice.
Right! What's the plan?
Well, we're gonna go stir up some ancient evil and some dwarven ruins for a few hours because we're bored apparently.
Warm up for the day.
Yeah, and then we're heading back to Blackwood.
So you guys head towards the ruins of Selafor. It doesn't take long to get there.
Are we following the tracks that lead
Oh, the tracks are heading...
towards it, or are they going a different direction?
They're going east.
I suppose actually, I was going to say in the light of day, it's not the light of day, never mind.
So, you head towards the ruin of Selafor, which takes about 4 hours to get there. As you approach what looks like a clearing, as the forest kind of becomes smaller and more sparse trees, the looming threat seems to have gone from your mind, at least.
Okay.
You feel a bit safer on the side of the forest.
I informed them of that.
Cool.
My danger sense no longer tingled.
This is eye going
Like
that.
You're heading away from Death Dark Temple at this time, so your eye is actually becoming less erratic.
Oh my god, that feels so good.
It's
to
not
have
staring,
just like
it's not staring directly
constantly.
backwards or anything.
Yeah. The ruins of Selafor are fabled to be quite difficult to find. However, in practice, not so much. You find what looks like what was small but great construction of a few statues that remain of the Dwarven kings, small hovels and such. And you kind of, as you stand there, almost imagine the life that once was around this place. But you see the vines growing up the cracks of the worn rocks, and it's more a sense of an echo of something great.
Can I check for any recent tracks around here, just to be safe?
Roll some survival.
Alright. That's a 15.
Yeah. In fact, it's a similar thing that you found in the forest. Something looks like it's darted through here at great speed. This time towards the west.
Can we tell what kind of size it is? Like,
It's really small little things on the ground that you're going off. You're almost second guessing yourself as to if you see something. It's very small disturbances of dirt and stuff. It's very difficult to glean too much from it.
Okay, should we investigate the ruins for any other sources of evil or goblin hideouts while we're here?
Would everyone like to roll investigation, please?
I haven't rolled anything above a 10.
That's
16.
Oh, well, never mind.
Man, what is with the 20s tonight?
Yeah.
So the party kind of splits up, not going too far from each other, but kind of just opening, peering through windows and that kind of stuff, like gaping holes in the stones and pulling back vines that have grown over things. Dain, you're not sure too much what it is. It's a band of metal about that big. That's the only thing you find.
Can I put my hand in it?
Yeah. Two hands. Yeah. So you kind of pick up this thing, and as you do, it heats up greatly. Ha! And you try to pull it off, but the pain suddenly disappears. You could pass that to Dain.
Nice.
The cursed ring of death.
Though we had to cut your hand off there for a second, Dan.
Essentially, this is a relic of the ancient city of Selafor, the only remaining thing in the entire catacombs of abandoned dwarven city with a nat 20.
Wow.
Oh, nice.
Any signs of hobgoblin evil, Dain?
Afraid not.
Ah,
I think
well,
this might here. Maybe another time.
another time.
well, shall we press on towards Blackwind then?
please?
Looks like our work is mostly done. Yes.
Okay.
Thank you.
Do the cities actually properly abandoned?
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. It was a golden age
It's
at
a
one time.
surprising turn of events.
Yeah, exactly. Not everything's trying to kill us. Something must be wrong.
So you head west, this time towards the Soundless Ravine, which is, to the south of the Temple of Screaming Scare. Soundless Ravine, essentially almost a grand chasm in the earth, and rumours have long speculated what caused it. Some say the great Dracolich, who watched over and encouraged the burnings of many cities in the Age of Dragons, had fallen from the sky and, as he did, carved this great rock. Others say that it was once a river.
But let's imagine if one said it was a river.
That had flowed all the way through a cast and has now been nothing more than a hole of stone. You'll have to go up and around it unless you have a way to cross it, as it is a great ravine in the earth.
How wide?
About 100 feet.
Do we have... It's 100 feet?
Mhm.
How many ropes do we have? Because I have 50 feet of rope.
I've got 50 feet.
I didn't grab any rope.
You guys have rope?
I don't have rope.
I don't.
We
Actually,
could probably afford to go around it, I think.
I can levitate across it with the rope. If you're trying to kill it.
We could just go around. I mean, we've been tripping for quite a while. It's not like go across a single rope bridge across a 100-foot ravine, you know? Like,
Okay.
Where's your sense of excitement?
have we travelled this way before to Blackwinter? Or,
Yes, this is actually the path that you'd taken.
okay, so do I know of any nearby crossings?
Essentially, if you go north from here, there is a point where what looks like a Druid craft has built a small bridge.
Okay, I will relay that to the party.
oh, excellent. Yep, let's do that.
Cool.
Thank you.
Before we go,
Thank you.
I'm going to throw a pebble into the river.
It's not an illusion, it goes
No,
through
alright,
it. So essentially Gorstag suggests that you guys go around it. That would have taken another day or so of travel. However, with the knowledge of your new friend, you managed to knock off 23 hours in that, and it takes an hour to get to the bridge. It's hard to see as it's not like right at the top, it's like further down in the ravine. You kind of have to climb down the rock, across the Druid crafted bridge, and then up the other side. So, as you get there, can everyone please roll acrobatics?
Oh yeah.
Or athletics? Yeah.
Oh,
Athletics?
You can
Athletics or
choose-
acrobatics?
So that's
you
a
can choose.
25.
Baby.
Nice.
21.
Nice.
11.
Nice.
You said acrobatics, right?
Yeah.
Cool.
Nice.
Sorry, new
Nice.
modifiers. 19.
Do cartwheel.
With a...
Oh yeah, I'm gonna do some flips. I'm gonna do, like, that's my thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Kasdan immediately runs up and kind of just smiles and waves as he jumps off the side of this ravine. Bye! And lands on the bridge and then up the other side.
This grey cape that has like
The DC
holes
was
in it.
the DC was not too high. It was a DC of 10. So some of you just make it across,
Just
and some of you make it with a bit more style. But you get to the other side of the Soundless Ravine. You're now not too far from the Death Forest, which is on the west of the Temple of Screaming Scare, which you know is maybe a day or two north. As you enter the forest, you obviously get a sense of the place, and this does look like at some point it's been home to a couple of druid circles. As you see some more, just certain things you notice about the way the trees grow.
there's nothing to indicate of any kind of which kind of druid.
No, it just kind of looks like it's been lived in before.
I remember at some point we did find out where Fire Silence was kept.
Yes, that's in Black Winter Forest in the north.
Alright, but that's not...
No, that is where you're heading. You're heading through that way. The forest, essentially, the days stretch on as the party discuss the recent threats of the cast. The great Ogre King who was slain in his very hovel, his own home. The ones they managed to rescue from an arduous torture that would probably have consumed them, or at least broken them at some point. You have looming ideas of where Shiver has got to. Fate seems largely concerned as this, as you've not seen him now for a couple of days.
So Shiver was summoned Fire Silence,
Correct.
which would be in Black Winter Forest.
Correct. As you travel, you get a sense of returning home after a long journey. If you've ever been away for a long time, you step through that door, you get the smell, the familiar smell of home, and that kind of sense of ease and relief as you drop your bags after a long adventure. You kind of get close to that as you're heading towards Black Winter. After sleeping rough and a couple of days of heavy rain, after traversing and wandering for endless hours at stretches, sharpening your weapons occasionally and hearing stories from the blacksmith. His vision to create an empire of finely crafted weapons. He talks of the mere sticks that goblins fight with and how they never really have too much care for the art of creating a weapon, going for practicality and cheap rather than following a true source of battle. Things that are crafted to withstand attacks and cut with precision, likely go unnoticed in most of the world.
You're clearly very passionate about your trade.
I show him my vampiric dagger. See if he's impressed by that.
Now that looks like the make of the Shadowlands. Beautiful weapon. Hard to buy. Shadowlands themselves, and he goes into a spiel. Shadowlands themselves. Some of the finest blacksmiths and artisans in the world.
Can I do an Arcana check on the dagger?
You can, but you don't have advantage
No,
because you're
I'm
not
not
Nikolai's.
That doesn't matter, it's a 9.
Never mind.
Oh.
Shadowlands are an interesting bunch. Originally a group that had created weapons of such fine craft that they could charge almost anything they wanted. Kings would lay waste to their hoard to obtain these weapons.
Perhaps one day your skill will be as great as theirs.
Can only hope. They were a wonderful bunch, although...
Surely if they were creating weapons that suck life out of things, they couldn't have been that wonderful.
No, the blade itself was made by the Shadowlands. The enchantment, I believe, is necrotic.
Ah, interesting. Yeah, cool.
Difficult thing to see as shadow weapons can only be bought with shadow currency. The only way to pay for one is to acquire some. They only have and accept one type of coin.
And shadow currency is physical coin.
Yes.
Yeah, it's interesting.
As the days turn to days and the days drift away, as the exhaustion turns to sleep, turns to the invigoration of the morning, as trepidation turns to paranoia, as you continuously check around your surroundings, looking for anything that's hunting you or anything that attempts to threaten your way of life. After 5 days, travelling a bit faster than you had anticipated, you get to Black Winter Forest, the place where you know well and true. As you enter, can anyone roll stealth, please?
Stealth.
Do I even need to?
Oh, stealth.
15.
Modified
13.
20.
Oh, damn, girl. 15, but it was a 7.
6.
Okay. The party tries to travel as quietly as they can. However, Gorstag, something picks up your presence. It is in fact Shiver's bird. Kind of is fluttering around as the rest of the party is moving silently. Gorstag's kind of traveling through. It sees you and lands on your shoulder. But no one has speak with animals, do they?
I don't.
So it sits on your shoulder.
I'll obviously recognise it and greet it affectionately, but obviously I can't understand it.
Yeah.
So.
Does it have like a scroll type of thing?
Penelope.
I can speak to small critters as a gnome. I can do
Oh, well, can you? This is our friend to Twitter. Can you?
Okay.
Can you tell us what tweet that's brought us?
Cool.
I'll start communicating.
No, I only just got that.
I haven't.
Really? I was like,
I don't really know
3 months later.
much about gnomes in general, but
Yeah.
hello.
Hi. Oh, yes. Message from my master.
Yeah, and what would that be?
The meetings stretch many days. Won't be back for a long time.
Okay. I'll relay that to the party. I'm not quite sure what that means, but if that's any use to you, then...
So it seems the bird has found its way back to Shiver and then back to the party.
That is very useful, thank you.
Can you ask him if he had a message for Shiver when you went to meet him?
Did you have a message for Shiver when you went to go and see him?
Yes. Institute has shut.
Institute has shut?
That doesn't bode well.
No, it does not. Thank you.
Yeah. Can you? If you can take the bird and tell Shiver that we're heading back to Black Winter and we'll see him when we can.
I tell the bird.
Oh, actually, just quickly before, could you also please ask him, as he was flying towards us, did he notice anything unusual?
Did you see anything strange when you flew towards us?
No, just forest.
Just forest?
Okay.
Just forest.
Thank you both.
The bird flies off. And you make your way, finally, to the edge of Blackwinter Castle. In fact, you now see the gates of Blackwinter itself. However, on the gate, you notice one of the two guards that you're so akin to seeing, and another on the other side of the gate who seems largely impressed by the original guard's attempts to say things like, "So who do you think would win in a fight? A bugbear or 5 hobgoblins? I'm not playing this game." Oh. You know, one time I'm not listening. And adorning the gates of Black's Winter Castle, many black banners. Sorry, Black Winter. I'm changing the name of one of these soon. Right, Black Winter Castle has black banners adorning the walls.
Do we recommend
Insight, please.
I would do this one.
What do we roll?
Did they not used to be covered in black banners?
14.
Notice a difference.
5?
15.
14.
Okay.
So, 20.
20. Dain. As the party kind of gathers around you now, staring at this site at the edge of Black Winter Forest, you kind of look and immediately recognise and turn to the party and say, "Funeral."
Can I, like, so the black flags are the
symbol.
symbol of a funeral within the... So it's obviously something of quite high importance.
Mhm.
Can I try and roll history and see if I know what that means?
Sure. Anyone else that
It'll be
wants to
the
do
same,
it?
So that's a 22.
Oh, net 20 for me, actually.
Alright. So,
That was a net. Go for that. Forward.
Gorstag and yourself both know that the black banners adorning the walls mean that a royal has died.
And the only royal in the city is Throman.
Mhm.
Because Throman doesn't have kids or anything like that?
Not that you know.
No.
No.
Alright.
Or like bastards.
The king is dead?
Perhaps.
This doesn't bode well.
Throman, however, is an extremely crafty one. I reckon if...
I don't know if that's true.
I don't know. I think behind the layer of intoxication and the stench of booze,
I don't think there is anything behind that. I think that's it.
Oh,
surely a king that has some form of control over his subjects must have something.
Well,
I think that if he received a credible threat on his life, especially when we were a week's travel away, he may have staged a funeral.
I think he has friends in high places that could help him, yes.
He is the highest.
I don't know, guys.
His friends
This
look.
looks pretty real.
well, we know that guard at the gate. We know he is a lot associated with Throman, well, as far as we know. Let's go ask him what's happened.
And
And then we can, or even one of us can go ask him what happened, and then we can decide what to do from there.
One
perhaps
moment.
afterwards we can find Zook and Throman Cirrus. The Cirrus that Throman had, or Throman's arcane advisor or whatever she was.
Oh, yeah.
I'll turn to these two and I'll say, we received a letter while we were away. Someone was, we think, forging the writing of the king, Throman. And they told us that everything was okay, and now we come back to this. Something is definitely amiss. We don't know quite what yet, but be wary.
Okay.
Always.
So, are we... are our characters quite well known? Like, do we know the king personally, or...?
Yeah, you do.
Okay,
You were some of his best trusted trackers,
okay,
and would only send you out on matters of importance.
okay. So what were we tracking? Anything in the forest?
The expensive beasts and creatures that have gone missing from some places around the coast.
Did we see a lot of trophies in Throman's castle of like taxidermied beasts that he said he killed?
No. He mainly had paintings and silks of him standing over the bodies of dragons and stuff.
Yeah, okay.
Speaking of dragons, the guy at the gate is kind of like, I fought a dragon once. You're not going to ask if that's true? Okay.
I'll go up to the really grumpy one and say, "Hey, friend!"
Who approaches Black Winter?
Oh, for fuck's sake, not
And the other guy's
boy.
like,
Yeah.
I'm sorry about him, he doesn't quite get it.
What happened to you, mate? I said to the guy that we know.
He was fired.
For what?
We don't know.
Who fired him?
Oh, you don't know.
What's with the banners? Who died?
Terribly sorry. Throman's dead.
How?
We don't know. They say he got into a brawl. They said it was a bar fight that got out of hand. It's not just that. Naya's back.
Nyath.
Naya. Throman's son.
Throman had a son?
Seemingly.
Did anybody know about that before Throman died?
It was knowledge that I did not possess, I'll tell you that.
Can I roll in history on 9?
Yeah. Anyway, he came back to the gates shortly after news of Thromon's death got around. There's going to be an inauguration soon.
That seems pretty convenient, don't you think?
Oh, never mind.
Don't like to think about it.
I didn't even need to roll. I was like, yo, I'll roll too.
I accidentally like threw the dice up in the air, but it's a nat 20.
Cool. Yeah, you do, as part of Thromon's guard, know the history of his family and the fact that his son was... he had a son called Naya who vanished when he was... essentially, part of the initiation to become a king was to join the King's Guard for a while. So Naya travelled with the King's Guard for about a year, trying to learn the ways of the castle and how it operates outside its walls, as Thromond did and before him and so on. However, one night as they were travelling south to the petrified forest, Naya never returned.
So I'll relay that to the party.
I'll ask the guard, have you seen Thromon's body?
Well, yes. Naya wants it burned. There's going to be a pyre built tomorrow.
Is that traditional for...
It's the Dwarven way.
The entire time this is happening, I'm using Mage Hand to poke the grumpy one in the head. Then when he turns around, it like ducks behind him.
Okay.
Just to annoy him.
Yeah, cool. He looks increasingly ticked off.
Yeah.
Can we go in now, please? Can you open the gates?
I'm not supposed to let anyone... Shut up!
We're bloody heroes of Black Winter, mate.
I go to the grumpy one, I go, you, who appointed you?
Naya himself.
Naya himself. How long have you known him? Surely
A day.
you are a...
Can I
okay.
cast Detect Thoughts on him?
Yeah, sure.
Just to see if he's...
Yeah, cool. As you're having this conversation, you kind of just get the sense that this one steps behind you, and Naya's eyes kind of... A day?
No, he's out the gate.
Yeah,
he's
sorry.
by the gate.
So surely it's a very prestigious appointment to receive for someone who's only known him personally for a day.
So, Detect Thoughts.
Yep.
I detect surface thoughts, so
Yep.
if he was lying, I'd know that he was lying
Yep.
just then.
So, his thoughts are mainly do your duty to the new king, follow his orders. He's not deceptive anymore.
What did you do before you got appointed by Naya at this?
Yeah, what did you do before this one, great one? I was in the kitchens.
At Black Winter?
Yes.
An honourable job.
I've actually,
Thank you.
we've had quite a bit of food at Black Winter, which was also very tasty. So.
Oh, thank you very much. She stands a bit taller.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
What? How did you...
Now open the gate.
Intimidation with a run. DC 8.
You did say with it,
Yeah.
Cool, that is a 13.
Trying to do my job. The gate's open. Inside there's a hive of activity.
And be nicer to the other one.
The guy beams across his arms. You heard them. Okay. And as you guys enter Black Winter Castle, you hear, so how did you fight the dragon? Inside is a hive of activity, as it looks like the whole town is in remodeling mode. The market stalls are being packed up and moved. The sundial in the centre of the marketplace is being dismantled. You notice the institute where Zook was has the doors shut and cordon around it completely empty. There's no lights in the windows there. The people of Black Winter are quite a mixture of reactions. Some of them you can see are grieving, and everyone is in black. As these people wander around, looking to Thromon's castle, you see just guards on the gates. So it's all locked up and looks quite heavily guarded. You can hear the occasional song of one or two bards playing lilting notes of memories, and essentially there is a procession in order. People are carrying flowers and gifts for Thromond. They are lining up outside the castle, being let one at a time to give homage and say goodbye and put small items and artifacts that they wish to have with Thromond.
Zook's Institute.
Yeah.
Are there any, I'm not sure of the layout of the city, but are there any shops across the road or a market or something?
The marketplace is essentially the first thing you see when you enter. Zook's Institute is to the right of that.
Okay, so I want to go to the closest store to Zook's Institute.
Okay.
And I just want to start chatting to the storekeeper about if he has any idea why it was closed, when it happened, the way it happened, if there were a lot of guards or if they just disappeared overnight. Or...
Well, she tells you that essentially the orders of the new king, Naya, as he returned, have echoed around the lands, and all the guards and such just following out the orders. She kind of leans in and says,
So the guards came in force and took the tower.
well, they came and said that the king was no longer interested in studying the arts of the arcane. In fact, now we have no need for an institute. They were asked to leave, and well, they were made to leave.
Were they made
I'm
to leave
sorry,
the city
did you
or
say
made to
that
leave?
magic is no longer allowed in the city?
It is, quite heavily regulated now.
No magic.
Okay.
No magic.
Healers.
Some of the greatest mages and healers, when they heard the news, naturally flocked to Blackwinter. Some of them said they had way of ritual or such to help someone. They were all turned away.
Do you know where they went, the ones that were inside the city?
I heard a large party was heading towards Dustin.
Do you know the master of the institute, Zook? Do you know if he went to Duskin or did he simply
Oh,
disappear?
I remember Zook. He said he had some affairs in town before he was leaving. He said he had some friends he needed to find. He should still be within the gate.
I'll flicker a gold piece and say, thank you very much for the information.
For your trouble. And she just pulls out a small red flower.
I take it, but I don't drink it.
Flower.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
A small red flask, I thought you said.
Alright, no, small red flower.
Mystery potion.
Yeah.
So
I
around...
don't drink it anymore.
so
I
around-
drink the flower.
You die. As the party kind of stands around in Blackwinter, as people go back and forwards carrying things, and the guards go about their business and such, we're going to take a quick 10-minute break, and then we shall return with the rousing climax of Blackwinter Nights. The party found their ways back to Blackwinter and back to some rather dark news about King Thromanashback. We will find out what that means soon. Thanks, Leonard, and all you guys in chat. We'll be back in like 10 minutes. Awesome to have you here with us, and yeah, more coming up soon. I just need to go and pick. Hello, and welcome back to Black Winter Nights, here on the D20 Multiverse with myself, Oliver Dungeon Master, and my lovely players, the Black Winter Nights. We'd like to give a shout out to Ted Belcher. Ted Belcher, hey man, how's it going? Thanks for joining us on this wonderful Thursday evening here in Wellington, New Zealand, or whatever time it is where you are in the world. We like to bring you these things because we've got nothing else going on, so we might as well. I don't speak for anyone else. I have nothing else going on. I actually often, like the last couple of days, felt like I've slipped through some different parallel dimension. Where I
just move on.
You need to sleep, Oliver. You need to sleep. That's what it is.
Anyway, the party finds themselves in Black Winter Castle, having just received the news that the Dwarven King, Throman Ashback, has been killed, seemingly in a bar fight that got out of hand. The guards at the gates have let you through, as you knew one of them. You immediately went to the side of the Zook Institute, which has been closed and shut down. You've learned that Arkyan is being discontinued as a study of the people of Black's Winter Castle. As you stand around the bustling city where people are carrying gifts and such, and remodelling is happening, Fate turns to you and says, I'm going to go find some taverns. I'm going to talk to people. I'm going to find out information. I'll meet back with you guys soon.
Don't go missing, yeah?
And let's see. Not that stealthily. She goes off in search of answers. The blacksmith. Well, you got me home, and for that I owe you. How about a discount?
I like that. I have a piece I'd like to talk with you about sometime.
Well, I need to get back home, see that everything's still there,
Of course.
fire up the kilns, and get back to work, because, you know, gotta make gold.
We'll come see you when she's set up.
Thank you. And claps you on the shoulder. Poof.
Where are you located?
He keeps tapping.
What?
It's nice armour. Where are you getting it made?
From my temple in Duskin.
Ah, blacksmith of Duskin. Always wanted to meet that guy. They say he has very fine fingers. Not like that. Well, best of luck, and off he goes, heading back towards where you guys remember the blacksmiths to be. Towards the residential district. What are you guys doing?
What time of day is it?
That's a good question. It is nearing the night. It's maybe just before nightfall.
So shops and stuff are mainly closed. And all
Yeah,
that kind of thing.
the marketplace is currently being packed up.
Did that girl tell us when Throman's body was going to be burned?
Tomorrow.
Tomorrow, okay. We should move quickly.
I think we should go and talk to. Sorry, is it Naya?
Naya.
Naya, sorry.
Naya.
Naya.
Yeah.
I think we should go and talk to Naya.
I think we should do some investigating before we're considered a pest. And before our names are known.
Alright. That's fair. That's reasonable. We should reinvestigate.
I'd like to see the body, to be honest.
I find Zook.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think finding the body's going to be an ask. I imagine it's held in the castle. You know, it's not something we just be able to get access to.
Well, people are lining up to mourn, aren't they?
Yeah.
Oh, there are.
Yeah, there's people giving offerings.
Are they lining up to see the body, or are they just lining to put like a shrine and
Oh, they're lining up at the doors to Throman's castle.
Okay,
And they're being led in one at a time.
What time of day is it again?
Just before nightfall, so it's about 6, 7 at night.
Okay.
In theory, would we be given access to see the king?
You would assume so, yeah.
Perhaps we can be of assistance there.
Maybe.
Yeah, we might be able to get you in to see the king. I mean, we knew him, so...
Well, we knew him very well as well. I mean,
As far as that is concerned, it's not the issue because the king is no longer in power.
Well,
And it seems like everyone's getting in, but we need information before we go in.
Is us being Black Winter Nights like an official title, and do we have any badge or something to prove it?
weren't we given like a thing for being the saviors of the city?
Yeah, you had a coin, I think it was,
Yeah.
from an Ashback.
Yeah.
So we can use that on people just to also aim.
But again, all our fealty is to King Throman, who is no longer in power. For all they know, his new advisor, or the new king, is simply waiting for us to arrive before he's going to trap us. We have no idea before we go in.
You're a clever one. And paranoid. I like that.
Extremely paranoid. As we should all be after the recent few weeks, I think.
Yes.
Well, Orthanc, would you know anyone at the docks who might know what's going on that you could trust?
Would I know anyone at the docks who might know what's going on that I could trust?
The docks of Black Winter are hidden docks. They're not largely. It's not like Duskin, where it's a port city.
Right.
So it's just for secret trade and escape if need be. But certainly there would be people there. Yeah.
What about? Because our ship has been moored here the whole time, right?
Mm-hmm.
What about Jinx? Jinx would have been in the city the whole time.
Triggered.
Okay.
An extremely trustworthy one.
Will you? Don't worry. Maybe.
As you guys have this conversation towards the marketplace, you do notice that in the centre where the sundial was, there is now being erected a small notice board, and someone is hammering a piece of paper to a makeshift notice.
I'll overread it. Yeah.
And off that person goes. Reading it, it says, Naya summons all able adventurers and travellers to a meeting of council at dawn.
And does it say where?
In Drummond's castle.
Perhaps we should split up and go down our various avenues of investigation. Meet up slightly before dawn and create a plan.
I don't like that. I think there's something nasty going on here. Someone's impersonating Throman. I think there's more to this.
Yeah, to the more information we get before.
Well, I don't think we should split up as well. If one of us accidentally lets something slip,
Whose fate is already split up.
that's why I said don't get lost.
Can I go back and talk to the guard that's at the gate that is our friend?
Yeah.
He mentioned he was killed in a bar brawl.
Mhm.
Can I ask him what bar he was killed at?
Well, I said Black Winter. Dragon's Head.
Dragon's Head?
Hmm.
I think, can we go there and see if they know anything?
Let's go there. Did you also want to meet your friend?
My friend?
The one who owns the inn? Or runs the inn?
Yes, of course, Gadzo, yes. But I don't know where he'll be in the city. I don't know what friends he has here.
Yeah. So can we roll some form of check to see if we know who Zook's friends in the city could be that he's held up with?
Straight intelligence.
Do you trust someone here who has information that could help?
14 for me.
19 for me.
Possibly the librarians for Throman's library. The ones that ran that were often into the arcane and knowledge and such.
Okay.
Probably exiled then, aren't they?
Mm-hmm.
To the tavern.
Yeah, I think so.
Question. Would I be a part of a guild of some form, or do I specifically work for the king?
You work for the king.
Okay.
Just to throw my paranoia out there again, asking questions about King Drummond's death, is that not likely to draw attention to us immediately?
Well, I'm sure everyone has lots of questions about it. I mean, he's a beloved figure. Not everyone in the city could be there. I mean, we don't need to say that we're specifically investigating his death, but we can go and say that our beloved king has died, and we need to, we kind of want to know what's happened.
On this notice board, are there any other messages like for wanted criminals or anything like that?
No. The notice board seems to be specifically for that one notice. It's the only thing that's on it.
Okay.
So no one was arrested for beating the king to death in the brawl, were they?
You don't know?
Would I have connections with the prison?
Yes.
Okay. Perhaps we should ask the prison guards.
I like that.
I know a guy. A lot of guys.
Sorry, you said the notice boards were erected where a sundial had been taken down.
Mhm.
Was there any special significance of the sundial in terms of like, paylaw or anything
Yeah,
like
it was essentially the way of communicating with Pella.
Yeah.
It was the way of having him transcribe from the celestial realm where time is infinite to the mortal realm where time is a ticking clock that counts down. So yeah, that's what it was for.
You drop Chinese Planet of the Apes style on the screen.
He does not
Oh,
like
this,
paper.
yeah, I mean, this troubles me in the fact that, we may have an atheist who's taken over. We cannot have
Is there a temple to Paylor in the city?
Not in Blackwinter. To the north of Blackwinter is Duskin, a small port city where Gorstag is from, where pretty much all the devotees of Pelor are, where they live.
Okay.
The notice board says that we're meant to go and meet the new king at dawn, so what do you want to do until then?
Well, I would still like to go and
I think
see
there's,
the
like,
place
5
that
things.
where Throman died. I'd like to go to that place.
So we can check the tavern, we can look for Zook, we can check the docks,
The prison.
And
and the
prison.
prison.
Okay, well, we'll start at the
Do we have
at
time
the
to do
bar.
all of that before dawn?
And
And miss out on a long rest and not get exhaustion and all that as well?
I'd say you need a short rest to avoid exhaustion.
We
Why don't we go to the bar at the same time and have a couple of drinks and rest up and then carry on?
True. You
We'll
can count your
definitely,
time at a tavern as a short
Would
rest.
definitely bring a lot less attention to us as well.
I like the way you think.
let's head to the bar.
Cool. Towards the Tavern of Black Winter, what usually greets you as you approach this place is dwarven song and warm hearth. Instead, as you enter, there are a lot of sullen people drinking ales and wines and such. Most of their heads kind of bowed in a quiet kind of reverence.
Is there a sign of a tussle that may have happened, may have occurred?
Roll some investigation. The tavern itself is all wooden floors, and the fireplace is burning, and it's kind of nice. You get a little bit of smoke billowing out of that, small embers that kind of spark, and the smell of drink that's been spilled. And 12. Looking around initially, you don't really get too much of anything out of place. It looks like everything has its set, and there are a couple of halflings that are carrying food to a couple of tables. Conversation is hushed, and you catch little glimpses of a couple that is gone.
Can I roll for sneaky shit?
Roll some sneak.
Well, like was this an assassination
Roll investigation.
plan? Yeah.
With advantage.
it's been quite a while. That's the problem, I think.
Wait, did you say
It is-
investigation?
Yeah, with advantage. It is actually quite nicely warm in this place.
21.
With the fire going. No, doesn't seem to be. Doesn't seem to be at all.
Can I I'll just go up to the bartender and order an ale.
Was he straight up just beaten to death in a bar fight?
A human kind of pours you a drink.
Probably.
Thanks, friend. It's been a while since I've been back, and obviously I wasn't here when King Throman died. But I mean, I understand he died in this bar.
That's what they say.
What they say, you don't know.
I didn't see it. I came in the morning.
Who was on shift?
Sandra,
Where's Sandra?
upstairs. Why?
No, it's just it's so heartbreaking that our glorious King Throman
Yeah,
has been taken from us.
I was the one that found him.
You were the one that found him.
Came in the morning. Place was all locked up. But let myself in. I was going about my business. I didn't even notice it at first. There he was.
So, wait, so Sandra locked up the tavern last night? Or the
Yeah.
night before,
Yeah.
and you arrived in the morning and there was still a dead body on the ground.
Yeah.
I mean,
Well, it's not completely uncommon for us to have people that pass out and stay the night.
But surely the king you would not leave sleep on the floor of a tavern.
The king has a
No.
guard that watches for him. Surely they didn't turn a blind eye or perhaps suddenly change.
I don't think anyone knew it was Throman until I found him.
Perhaps we should ask the barmaid upstairs.
Do we know who Throman's personal guard was?
He had a few trusted guards that you'd consider to be his like.
We've
go-to guys.
interacted with a good few of them over time.
Okay.
Yeah, that'd be at the castle.
Yeah.
We know he didn't have to sneak out in order to drink. That was clear.
Yeah, yeah.
And the King's Guard, is that like a faction that would move over to the new king?
Yep.
Or would he select and move the King's Guard?
Well, I mean, it's all down to the discretion of the king,
Yeah.
but generally, yeah, you transfer your trusted advisors.
Yeah, okay.
You all go on ahead and talk upstairs. I'll stay here with the barkeep. And I'll get an ale of him, turn around to the tavern and say, "This was Throman. This is not how he'd want us to celebrate. He'd want us cheering, drinking, and having fun." And I'm going to start playing a song.
Nice,
Okay,
roll
liberate
performance. As some people kind of look up from their tables and look at each other, and it's true. It's Throman.
23.
And
Oh yeah,
actually,
Throman!
essentially,
Sweet John Mike.
you bring this this somber moment, this beautiful cacophony of noise, celebration for Throman in his life. And as you play and people start like banging their cups on the table and rhythm, some people start standing up and saying, "You know, I mean Throman, the first crowned king. It's a party the likes of which Elisia had never seen. It rained for 2.5 weeks, non-stop.
Hey.
Someone else steps up. He used to bring us at the end of our training. Man, those times were grueling. Standing out in the fields for hours on end. But when we graduated, he brought us all an ale and a barrel of the finest stuff. To Thromin! And the tavern is now ablaze with the celebration of Thromin.
Meanwhile,
You guys head upstairs.
heading upstairs to...
Where you find easily Sandra by following the sound of the sobs. In one room she's just...
Hello?
kind of begrudgingly saying, hello?
Hi, are you okay?
It's just hard, you know?
Can I get you anything?
And you look around the room, you can see quite a few empty wine bottles.
Perhaps some bread?
That'd be nice.
And I'll just chop down to the bar and enjoy it.
She swaggers back and sits down.
So you were working the night Thrum died.
Could have stopped it, maybe.
I mean, a bar brawl happens. You know, it's fine. It's,
I'm
you
gonna
know,
lay out
it's to be
hands and
expected.
remove poison.
Cool. No, it was
Nice.
it was strange.
What was strange about it?
I never saw the fight.
I'm looking around us to see if anyone's paying undue attention to us.
Yeah, that's
No.
what I was going to do when I was walking down, just to see if...
So a lot of these rooms are empty. You can see the doors wide open, indicating that no one's there. A couple of the rooms are closed, but there's certainly no one around.
There's no peak halls, hidey halls, anything
No,
like
they're all
that.
alone.
How could you not? What do you mean? What do you mean you didn't see the fight? How could you not see a bar brawl? I mean, that's not something you'd miss as a bar team. I'm not. You know, it's.
It was a busy night.
Don't be such a dick, Gorstag.
Hey, you know.
There was drinking and food. It was just another...
Did you know that Throman was at the bar? So he's hard to miss. You know, he's always the loudest person in any kind of room, and he's buying rounds for everyone. And,
You know him well.
yeah.
I must have been too focused on my work. I never saw him come in.
What about shady characters?
Well, it's...
Other than the usual.
There was one. Always kept his hood up. Move. No.
Go and tell us. It could be important.
It was odd. He stood outside the door. He never entered. He kept asking, am I allowed? Can I cross? Can I come in? The door was open. It was odd.
Did you let him in? Did you extend your invitation?
Of course. He looked weary.
I'll come back up with the red now and just...
Did you see Throman at all that night before you locked up? Like, you said that you didn't know that he was there, but did you see him at all that night? Did you know that he was passed out, or what you thought was passed out on the bar?
I saw a couple of our regulars passed out. Generally, they sleep there the night. I give them some food in the morning and they're on their way. Now that I think of it, I didn't see Throman at all that night.
So you know where his body was found.
Yes.
When you were closing up the night before, when you were walking through that area, you did not see someone lying on the ground there?
I have to be honest. I may have snuck one or two wines myself that night.
As all bartenders do. You'll feel guilty about that.
But so why do you think that Throman died in a brawl? If you didn't see a brawl, you didn't even see him that night.
No, word got around the next day. I actually heard it from one of the monks of the Institute.
Was it you that found the body?
No. But I think it's strange. Throman himself was one of the best unarmed fighters that I have known. Although eventually his advisors convinced him otherwise, would fight in the King of the Ring tournament. I saw him best some of the strongest and fastest, still fighting with ale in one hand and a balled fist as the other.
Right, I'll leave that conversation and start talking to the guy downstairs again.
Okay.
In order now.
He pulls you on, hands it over, no charge, of course.
Oh, thank you very much.
The rest of the room is kind of now engaged in song as Orthanc is playing on his axe. Bartender still has quite a dark look on his face.
Besides you and Sandra, are there many other people that would have access to this place after hours?
Well, sometimes we give the kitchen hands keys in case they, there's a mess and we need it cleaned.
Can I go around checking all the doors and locks and stuff, as long as that would take, to see if there was any forced entry?
Yeah, roll investigation.
So when you found his body in the morning, did he look beaten?
Actually, now that I think of it, no.
Was his skin kind of a pale, milky white color? Perhaps a lot paler than he usually was, even you would imagine in death?
He looked pale, but I've seen many a corpse.
He looked like any other corpse?
Yeah.
If he died in a bar brawl, was he covered in bruises?
No, I just asked him.
Oh.
Now that I think, no.
Did you start telling people that he died in a bar brawl, or did you hear that from other people?
I heard a story. I can't remember who it was that told me.
But you didn't immediately think they didn't start telling people that he died in a bar brawl?
No, I found him and I brought the guards immediately.
Okay.
So I assume you just went outside and called over the closest guard, right?
Yeah.
Do you know the name of the guard that you called up?
No.
So when the guard arrived, they would have obviously had some questions for you.
Well, they shut down the pub for a couple of hours. They moved Throman's body back to the castle.
So at this point, was it ever mentioned or assumed that it was a bar brawl that killed her?
No, that news came later. I hear that some people investigated, tried to determine cause of death, and that's what we heard.
Do you know who that was?
Did they do that here, or would they have done that at the castle?
It was within the walls of the castle. They obviously spare no expense when something like this happens. They called over some of the finest minds in Blackwinter.
As far as Naya is concerned, when did he return to the city?
A couple of days after news got out,
They returned after King Sorman's death?
Yes. I assume that Throman had, for some reason, decided to keep Naya's existence hidden, but had some form of channel of communication with them, as you would. It looks like Naya was alerted and decided it was time to come out of hiding.
We heard from Sandra upstairs that there was an unusual customer that night who kept asking permission to enter. Have you noticed any customers like that yourself?
No.
The ones that stand at the door asking to get in?
Well, sometimes some of the younger ones, as you know, age limit to enter, but beyond that.
Interesting.
So where was the next place on this?
I think, yeah, does anybody else need anything at the bar? I think we can move on.
I'll grab another ale.
No charge.
Thank you.
Can I get a whole casket of wine?
Roll persuasion.
Natural 20.
Get a whole casket.
When you drink of it, remember Throman.
For her, like,
Yeah.
would you like me to carry that?
Thank you.
Alright, well, so once we finish our drinks, what do we think is the next course of action that we want to... What were the other places we wanted? The prison, the
library,
and the library?
Yeah. I still think that the 8 of us, as conspicuous as we are, walking around town to these specific places, asking the questions that we have just asked, which are very directed, is going to bring attention down on us.
If someone attacks us, we can interrogate them too.
Perhaps we would not want to be dragged to the castle before we are ready for that, though.
Is everyone in the bar wearing black as well?
Mhm.
Okay, so literally everyone except us is wearing black.
Right.
Okay, cool.
I'm wearing black.
Well done. Second question, can I go to the barkeep and say, Fruman's son, Naya,
Yeah.
was he thought dead for many a year?
Well, when he went missing, Throman was broken. He sent almost every man in Blacksteel looking for him. Blackwinter.
And I'll
Why
just
did I
lean
name
in
you?
close and say, how do we know it's him? And I'll wink, and then step away and go back to these guys.
Have you seen Naira in person?
Yes. Once.
During the day, by any chance?
He arrived at night.
Of course.
We saw him enter the city and he disappeared from his castle and he's been there mourning ever since.
Thank you. You've been very helpful.
Back at the table just between us, by some divine right, some personal creature has called himself king, I think. I don't know if it is the sun, I don't know if it's the undead remains of the sun, but
Or if it's a completely different person altogether.
exactly.
I mean,
Also,
can I
we
go-
don't
either
know-
way, some sort of foul necromancy is
Can I roll
involved,
history?
and we need to
Advice?
cast this
Sure.
out.
We also do not know if Throm is actually dead or not.
Another good question, that's why we should check these. We should try and check the body before tomorrow.
Yeah.
This has taken about 3 hours, by the way.
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
So it's
Okay.
18.
Well, it's been 6,100 years since there was a vampire. You know, little else except for.
For a couple of days.
They live a long time. A couple of days.
For them, a couple of days. For the rest of the world, 6,100 years. Obviously, largely, most of the knowledge is lost. You do remember hearing that they are particularly dangerous.
I'll relay any information about vampires that may be interesting to the party.
Sure.
Thank you.
So 3 hours have passed since this started, and it was about 5.
Mm-hmm.
So we'd have like another 8 or 9 hours before dawn.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. It's actually plenty of time to do everything we need.
Yep. So, what do we want to go to next? So we were thinking library, jail, docks. Which one next?
I don't
And
think
perhaps
we-
we want to
I
go
think-
see his body as well.
And
And line up and pay homage and maybe check that out. I don't know if anyone has anything that would help us see if he has simply been poisoned or put into a catatonic
I mean,
state.
I've got a pretty good medicine roll, but
Yeah.
I'm a poison expert.
So, do you have any knowledge of poisons that would make it look as if someone was dead?
Well, I'm not a chef, so
oh, you're a healer. We already established.
healing's
So-
not really my forte.
You're a chef in training.
So there is the leaf of the staring sleep, which is a poison that mimics death.
Okay.
Perhaps.
Well, maybe we should go and investigate the body.
Yep.
Subtly.
Let's go pay our respects. To our
Still,
dear friend.
I think entering the castle itself should be the last thing we do.
Absolutely.
Because we
Yeah.
don't know if there's any way out once we're in there.
I completely agree.
I have 2 things to say on the other items on the agenda. The library, any arcanists have been sent out, probably the same with anyone who stores old history at this point. 2, if we go to the prison, it doesn't sound like any murderer was found, just the body by itself. So
True.
I think maybe the docks, and I don't think we can find much there.
I mean, even the docks is just going to be it's going to be rumor, which is no reason to think that we could
If
have
Zook
been
is
hidden
hiding
bar.
somewhere, surely Zook would have some information as to what's going on.
Where would
He
you
was the
hide?
most powerful mage in the city. The only lead we have are the librarians, who are not arcanists themselves. They
If-
simply
I'm sure.
provided the books for the institute.
I'm sure if Zook didn't want anyone to find him, we don't have a chance of finding him.
That's the whole point. We know him, so maybe we would have a chance of finding him. Because
He
he
might
knows.
find us if we're looking in the right places.
But he sent a message to us.
You know him.
Well, we were standing around and doing nothing at the moment, so why don't we go to the prison in the meantime?
Okay.
Cool. So you guys head out of the tavern and towards the prison, which is down one of the less unassuming roads, and essentially comes to a point where you see the large prison guards who are currently playing cards at a table throwing a couple of gold pieces across every so often.
How well do we know / trust the prison guards?
Prison guards, pretty much for a price, will do whatever you want. They will waive small charges. They will harass standard members if you pay them enough. Very easily swayed by coin.
How much money do we have? Probably no.
All your gold and platinum
Yeah.
is smelted.
Smelting.
Aces. Hang on. Ace of hearts, ace of hearts. Well, I'll get another deck.
Sorry, friends. May the light of Palor shine upon you. Can we trouble to intrude you for a moment?
Sure, of course. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Fuck off.
Now, I'm sorry. Is there any way to address this?
I drop a bag of gold on the table.
What do you need?
My
Is
friend
this one way to do it?
Don't need anything, just want to get it.
He's already taken the gold and put it away.
Oh, no, I'm still holding on to it.
What do you
My
what do you
friend here
need?
has some questions for you.
Sure. What do you need?
I cast a shocking grasp through the bag and
Ah!
holding on to it.
Now that was not necessary. What do you need?
So we understand that, well, our dear King Thromin, unfortunately, has passed away. And,
Well, may he reign.
long may he reign. In a bar brawl, which
Yes,
is
that's it.
a horrible, horrible thing.
Not uncommon in this place.
They're not so bad.
Was anyone arrested?
No, no.
Who knew of the Bible? Do you know?
Well, I heard it in the market. People were saying he fought valiantly.
Of course he did, it's wrong.
They say that he was bested by trickery. Obviously, no one could contest him in combat.
At the market, did you hear from a trustworthy source? Or mouth? Spread of milk? What's it called?
Word of mouth.
Word of mouth. No.
Well, everyone had a different account of what happened. Some say Thromin's honour was insulted. Some say that someone spilled a drink on Thromin and Thromin retaliated. Stories are as varied as you can imagine.
Okay.
Have you had any new prisoners recently? Aside from the usual.
One or two.
We need them guards.
The gold.
Did you
Puts it away.
20 gold.
Did it thoughts? Yeah,
No,
cool.
instead. Oh, well, you've already handed it over?
That'll do that shit doing it.
Yeah,
Okay, yeah, I wanted to take thoughts.
cool. He essentially base thoughts, surface thoughts. Do I have to make a save for that?
Wisdom, yeah. No, actually, I think to begin
I
with.
can look it up for you.
No, so it's to begin with, I just detect surface thoughts.
Yeah.
If I pushed harder and I wanted more information,
Cool.
he would know that I was casting the spell, and he would have to make a wisdom save. I'm pretty sure.
Isn't that just the warlock version of it?
Is it?
Oh no, never mind.
No, I'm pretty sure that's just the spell. Am I right? Or
Yeah, you are.
Cool.
If you probe deeper, the target must make a wisdom saving throw.
His surface thoughts are. This knowledge is probably worth a bit of gold.
Okay.
Yeah, the gold's there.
Here, don't mean to be just trustworthy. Opens it up.
20 gold.
We had a prisoner who escaped. One of the guards on the gates had been fired. They said that he'd been stealing from the castle. We locked him up, and next day his cell was open.
This guard, is it the guard you guys know personally?
He's the argumentative one. Interesting stories about how he fought off a horde of 100 hobgoblins with a stick.
Oh, yes.
Do we know this guy?
Yeah, we do. It's the counterpoint to the one that we saw on the gate.
Oh, really? Okay, cool.
Okay, you said one or two. Are there any others interesting prisoners in the last couple of days?
This way. He leads you down a series of cells to one of the darker, smaller cells at the end of the room. Awake, are ya? Ding, ding, ding. He rattles on the bars until this little, figure kind of... Zoop. What? What? You've got some visitors. Ding, 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 ding. Please.
That's enough.
This one's a traitor. This one studying arcane with the intent to overthrow the king. Isn't that right? No, it's not true. It's not true.
Those filthy arcanists.
I've heard him.
The same one. Sorry, the prisoner.
The prisoner?
Let's see if he's telling the truth.
Ah, cool.
Sorry, did you say the prisoner is Getzo? Right?
Yeah.
I think that's the last time I can cast it.
Yeah, second level.
Guardzoka, his thoughts are one of brief hope as he sees you guys standing there. He runs to the bars. You know me. You know, tell them. I did nothing.
I smack my staff against the bars. Get back, traitor! And I flash the symbol we got from King Throman at the prison guard that followed us.
Okay.
Leave us in peace, we have questions.
Persuasion or intimidation, your choice.
I'll use my luck for that.
Oh, yep.
And that's net 20.
Oh, that's lucky.
If you need anything, I'm just down the hall. And off he goes.
I'll go with him, and I want to ask him on the way who brought these charges against him.
Yeah, so he tells you that essentially once King Throman had been found dead, there was a citywide investigation. Some of the people within the Institute themselves said that Zook had been conspiring against King Throman, that he had been aligning all the arcane weapons he could find in the books to become king himself.
Getzo, what happened? How have you come to be imprisoned in here as a traitor? We all know that can't be true.
They started saying I was plotting, they started saying that I was the reason Throman died.
But how did they even manage to capture you?
Yeah. I don't actually remember. I was hit. I'm not sure if it was a weapon or a spell. When I woke, I was here.
Well,
How beat up does he look?
Pretty bad.
I'll hit him for 2.
so
Thank you.
I mean, we basically. I mean, I assume we're working on the same assumption that Throman was killed by a vampire. This vampire is this new guy who's come along.
I'm not sure.
Have you seen anything that would indicate? Do you have any idea of what's going on, or anything that could elaborate on that further?
I have a feeling it's not just Black Winter. We had people in the forests, herbalists, gathering spells, regents for our purposes, alchemy and such. Slain beasts all the way through Black Winter Forest to the south, to the north. Death has been finding its way all across this place. Something, I don't know what, has come from the darkness.
We may have kind of released a few hundred vampires.
200 is a lot. 30 to 40.
Trigger.
Of course. Of course.
While
and-
can I just look around to make sure that no one's listening in this conversation?
Perception.
So, is there any reason that you haven't? Is there any reason you're still trapped in a spell apart from like why haven't you cast spells to get out of here?
He shows you this mark in his chest that's just had a deep gash. I'm not sure. Have you ever heard of chaos artifacts?
No.
Carol history?
Yeah.
I'll join on that one. I also got an 18 on the perception roll.
15 for the cast.
15 for history as well.
Can I, while these guys are talking, go and check all of the latches and everything to see if anyone to see who busted out
Yeah, sure.
the other person?
Yeah.
Cool, 19.
Yeah, so one of the cells has had, not finely done, but more like something jabbed and broken the lock.
Any entrance points?
No, it looks like someone was escaping from it.
Oh.
18 on the perception roll.
Cool. Perception. Oh yes, no, you've been left silently. The guards are not necessarily out of listening range, but they seemingly have returned to the game.
They're currently talking to Dain, so they're quite busy anyway.
Yeah, exactly. But should there be any loud noises and stuff, they're not out of earshot.
How many other cells are there aside from the one that Zook's in, the one that got broken out?
There's like 15 cells, but there's only one person that's in them. That's Zook. Zook's cell is the smallest and the most cramped to the side. Chaos artifacts. Something I had been studied in quite some time. There is a jewel of ultimate chaos. Supposed to be some kind of time reversal. Very powerful stuff. But I think this figure, he cut me. and I haven't been allowed a rest.
Well, you
I could
think
sleep. I could cast. They keep waking me. You see dark circles under his eyes.
Can I inspect the cell door at this point? Take a good look at it and see how it could be
Yeah.
smashed.
Investigation.
That's a 3.
so
Damn,
now-
that's a door.
So we're getting you out of here
Please.
right now. I kind of mention there's in disagreement with that.
No, not at all.
But what if we alert the guards?
Then we'll call the
We
guards.
have a way around that. We have several ways around that if we need to.
I can get
You
it.
pick the lock.
Right, I walk out to.
There's no way to treat
Pick the
me,
lock,
friends.
Apologies, sorry, I'm worked up at the moment.
Oh, so just quickly, this may be of use in the future. I still have this blue gem that I pulled off Lord As's coffin, the one that shot the blue beam into the sky.
Yes.
If I were to simply pump magical power into it, would it do the same thing?
Signal stone.
Yes.
Simple process.
So I would just shoot off a blue beam into the sky?
Should do.
Cool.
Although you don't know who you're contacting when you do that.
Everyone can see it, can't they?
But
In a city where magic is banned, surely that would draw some attention.
it would. But the jewel itself is attuned to creatures far across the path.
Ah,
As soon
okay.
as it's activated, it sends the tremors along the spider webs.
Right, maybe not.
Please get me out of here.
That's a 17, but before I do it, I was going to offer. And then picks the lock.
So the assassin steps forward immediately, just looks at him and goes, Tumbler. 12 pin. Anything else you need? As
Fries, you are a chef, right?
Sure.
Zook tries to stand, but he's quite weak.
I walk past the guards to the way that we came in.
Yeah.
And I just start a conversation with them, like, while they're making look away from what everything is happening there.
And
Sure.
can I attempt to stealth him out?
Yep, sure, roll stealth.
And I'm waiting for some form of signal.
So, you boys wish to play?
I think you'll find that actually Palor frowns on gambling.
But it's a 10. It's a
Have you no faith? Like,
You get +9 on stuff.
how were you brought up so incorrectly that you could think this was an okay thing to do? You should
Lawfully
be
with
spending these
my
quiet
stance,
times at night
plus the
in
cloak.
prayer and studying the sacred books of Palor. How could you be living your life like this? Would you like to be cast out into the wilderness without the light of Palor at all?
Roll persuasion.
that.
That sounded like an intimidation to me.
That is an 18.
You
Holy
actually
shit.
see them glance to the table and reconsider their life choices as
I'd like to go home.
they're thoroughly distracted.
It's a net 1, but it's a 10.
Yeah.
Seeing as that doesn't seem to be going so well, I lean in close to Zook and I say, alright, cool one, they seem to like you. I'll cast invisibility on him and say, you've got 60 seconds. I'm going to make a distraction for you. Fuck off.
Thank you. Zook just vanishes from sight.
And then after 60 seconds, I'm going to concentrate on a silent image of him huddling in the far corner of the cell and then leave and concentrate on it, keeping it there.
Cool. You guys see this shimmering form of illusion of Zook in the corner of this room as you hear little foot patters as actual Zook gets the hell out of there. The two guards are still trying to rope you guys into a thing, but they kind of now see that the time for that is over and they put the cards down. I should go check on the cells.
I'll start
Is
walking
the cell door still closed?
Well,
Could you relock that?
Yeah,
Or-
I can redo that.
Yep.
Do I need to?
And
Well, slightly.
And I will concentrate on the illusion as well and just aid with minor illusion.
10. My dice are not
Oh,
liking me at
nice.
the
You can add
moment.
like a sound effect or something, right?
And then one frame in the corner.
Nice.
The cell finds itself locked once more. You all hastily make your way out of Black Winter Prison.
I was going to turn myself into him and then run off. And then the guards have followed me. You guys can go before that.
I like that. It is
That has taken about half an hour to an hour.
Alright.
I need more dice.
Kenzo, you obviously need to rest. Do you know
Please.
anywhere safe in the city that you can go?
I have some friends I can stay with.
Who is currently inside the institute?
It's empty, it's been gutted.
It's fully empty.
Is Thurman actually dead?
I don't know.
What do you believe?
I hope he's okay.
Are the wizards who dobbed you in still around?
Surely.
Most people have been exiled. Most of those who have been implicated in some way have been excavated from the city.
Do you know where they went?
I hope they went north. I hope they went to Duskin.
The ones that betrayed you didn't get any special treatment and get taken in.
I haven't seen them since. Please, I need to sleep. I'll be much more use.
You go and rest with your friends, and I think after that, if you feel up to it, stick around the city and we can come and find you. Otherwise, head north to Duskin and we can find you in the temple there.
I think I'm going to head to Duskin. I think it's important. I worry for its safety. But now I need rest.
Yeah.
And he kind of
Do
stops
you need
off.
help getting where you're going? Or
It's not far. I'll be okay.
just don't get captured again?
I don't intend to. So, what is the party doing?
Docks or library.
We don't need the library anymore because we need that time
that's-
too.
that's-
And why did you want to go to the docks?
Just, I don't know, I think we have a pretty clear idea what's going on. So
Yeah.
maybe we can go and try to see the body.
Yeah.
I think so.
Okay, the party heads towards Blackwinter Castle.
Can we try and find like things that look like we're mourning or something before we go?
It's like, what, midnight at this point,
we're
right?
not actually no, we're not.
So we're black already.
You find a very long line still of patrons attending the castle.
Are we lining up?
I think, I guess we're lying.
I could
Wait.
see if we can.
How long is this line exactly?
Pretty long.
Like
30,
like
40.
what?
I'll see if we can bump us up the queue. I can try.
So like it's 30, 40 feet?
No,
Or-
30, 40 people.
Oh, okay.
You could try, but
Maybe-
perhaps...
I think
Maybe
we
sure we
shouldn't,
careful
for
about
respect
that.
is due.
and we shouldn't try and draw attention to ourselves.
Yeah.
Like, but
Well, if you just want to wait in line, that's fine.
I was thinking more of a line that like spans the entire streets of the city. Like
No,
we're
no.
at the back, seeing the
It's-
castle
it's
a mile
been-
in the
It
distance.
is midnight.
Yeah, it's midnight and it's been a while since the news has been announced.
No,
Perhaps we will leave our contacts for later when we need them.
I've
Dainty Guy's fate is still missing at this time.
I've had an ale and I've got a few dumb ideas brewing. You're quiet, aren't you, Chef? You can move around without people hearing you. I can make you invisible
For a minute.
for an hour.
Oh, right.
an hour really.
I think so.
What'd you do to that? I thought that was only 60 seconds. Oh, there's
No,
no
I gave
Ollie,
concentration.
would you allow me to
No, invisibility.
roll like stealth, and if it doesn't work, get invisibility? Because I kind of just want to show off.
Generally, you don't know when you failed a roll. Your character does not know.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, I've got a +9 to stealth. I reckon I'll give it a go.
But another character might know.
Yeah, that is a
26.
26 stealth. So it just goes.
Oh, nice invisibility spell there. That's very impressed. That's
So what are you doing in
And then
stealth
when I'm in there, is like anyone else in there, or is it?
mode? So you've entered the castle. Cool. So essentially, you find a route that goes beyond where the gaze of the guards at the front of the guard, and when you get towards them, kind of just throw a stone kind of thing, and through you go. The people, as you arrive, one person's leaving, and the guards are about to let the next person through. They kind of open the gate, and you just kind of slink through without them seeing. Inside is Throman's throne room, and the throne itself is symbolically empty. And the gifts of all these things adorn the room itself. You can see small little statues and offerings of food and clothes and even a couple of
So there's
weapons.
no casket or no actual body there.
Right.
So can I try and find?
Roll some investigation. There are a few guards
Not with a 9.
within the place, and the doors that lead to the hallways and stuff that adorn this room are all closed.
Okay. No.
Just quickly out of game. What time do you guys want to go? Because it's nearly 9:30.
When does countdown show?
Midnight.
Yeah.
Well then we're good till 11.
Okay, we'll just go down until we find the time. All right.
Okay.
Yeah, so there are a few guards overseeing the whole process,
Mm-hmm.
but uncharacteristically the doors are closed when usually they're open.
Okay, so I don't know where his body is. Can I just try and... Do you think I would have a poison on me that would make people go to sleep? Momentarily?
Yes.
Cool. Can I try and make the guard go sleep?
There's like 4 or 5 guards.
Okay. Can I try and sneak past them through one of the doors? to
Sure.
Perhaps where I would think the chambers.
Sure.
of the king would be. Okay, that's a 15.
Yeah. So the guards are not necessarily guarding the doors. The guards are more overseeing this kind of process. As you make your way quietly through, as they kind of watch
And respectfully.
Yeah, yeah. You find a corridor and a door, and again, rooms that generally in Thrummond's rule are open have all been closed. All these doors in the castle are closed. So while you go about your business, I'll return to you guys. Waiting in the line. And I'll wait for Orthanc. As you stand there, most of this place is kind of empty and such. But Gorstag, from one of the alleyways nearby, you just hear.
I'll look over. I'll step over to get
Cool.
open.
Do we know who this is?
Roll perception with disadvantage.
7, yeah.
This person is well hidden beneath this cloak, but you do see Gorstag wander off and towards this alleyway into the rest of the
Keep very close eye on what happens.
Okay. Gorstag, as soon as you enter this thing, you have a hand grab you and you get pulled down a little bit until you're now in between these two houses, completely obscured from vision. I knew you'd be back. And it's the guard.
The one from the
The one that's missing from the
the
front
one
gate.
that's missing from the front gate.
Yeah. You got my note.
That was you.
I tried to make it look like it was from someone
It doesn't matter. Tell me what's going on.
It can't be him.
What can't be
It
him?
can't be Naya. I saw his body. He died those years ago.
He's absolutely a vampire at this point.
Vampire.
We're pretty sure he's a vampire at this point.
Have you seen Naya since you returned to the city?
Yes.
Is it,
Saw him
is it the
myself.
same face?
Looks exactly the same.
Did you see him during the day?
Well, it is now,
No.
but
So
I was there. Thrummond did not want people to know. They said that he went missing. To protect.
how did he die?
He was attacked
By?
in the forests. By beasts, panthers at the time. We were trying to train him. I'm sorry. We should have kept a close eye. But that can't be him.
I completely agree. What happened? What has happened since he's returned? Why did you? I heard you were in prison and then you got broken out. What happened?
I think he knew that I knew. When he came to the gates, he knew that I knew that he could not be who he said he was. Then I can't remember much. My mind was, I think, enchanted. Next thing I knew, he was within the gates and I was being dragged off.
How did you escape from prison?
He like always keep a lockpick on me. It's not my first rodeo. I do worry, however. As soon as I was escaped, I tried my channels of communication. They say that there's been a change in Duskin as well. Grandmaster of the Temple of Pelor has resigned. I can't stay. They're still looking for me. Is there anything else you need?
Is there anything you need?
Swift escape. I'll return when he's
Stay-
gone.
Stay in hiding. If you let me know where you will be, I can let you know if we need
I'm heading
help
to
or we can
Duskin.
help you leave. You're going to Duskin?
I'm heading to Duskin.
Alright, well, we'll see you there. I mean, obviously, if the things are happening in Duskin too, we need to see what's happening there. So,
Be safe.
you as
Good
well.
luck. And off he goes.
I'll go and rejoin the party and recount to them what just happened.
How far through the line have we managed to get?
About 5 to 10 people.
So not very long. So I guess.
yeah. So, am I finding the?
You find guards on patrol in regular intervals, which was not common with Thrummond. You head to Thrummond's quarters, where you know, and he's not there. You listen to the door of the Champions Hall, where the meeting place of Thrummond and his conference, and he's not there either.
Do I know historically where the body of a royal would be kept?
Roll history.
Or yeah, even me, because
Yeah,
I'm
both
like,
of you guys roll
bloody, I'm like,
So that's
Oh,
gone
don't
big.
know.
We know there's a
oh, that's a
royal-
nat 20.
All
Well, I
right.
got a 19 plus whatever the fuck. So
Yeah. So
I know where dead people
the
go.
Molosseums of Blackwinter are down underneath Thrummond's castle, essentially. So I assume that's where you're heading.
Yeah.
Cool. As you get there, there are guards on the door.
Do they look like the guards?
They're men that you know work for Thronen.
Okay.
Yeah. They kind of do stealth or do you?
I think
How
I am
much-
going to risk
how much is-
stealthing, yeah.
how much
That's a 28.
So they don't see you approach at all, but they are still firmly guarding the door.
How much respect do we have within Blackwinter?
Well, with the guards themselves, they've worked alongside you, and there's a sense of friendship there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, so I'm not going to waste that stealth and just like stealth between them and be like, hey guys,
Well met.
I need to see him.
You're not. We're under strict orders. Okay. No one's to see.
You know he would have wanted me to check his body.
I can't help you. We were given very implicit orders. No one gets in. That's what we were told.
Okay. Is there another way into the crypt?
No.
Can I try and persuade them?
Sure. Rock persuasion.
10.
Look. We know you. We want to let you through. Maybe if you ask Naya, he's within one of these walls. He sends out orders for us every couple of hours. We haven't actually seen him in some time. Morning, obviously.
Right.
Obviously.
And then I'm just gonna go all the way back to the party.
How far through the line are we?
It's another 10, so you've got like 15, 20 people in front of you.
How'd it go?
Well, I got all the way to the crypt. Unfortunately, I can't get in, but I'm aware that one of you, or a few of you, cast an illusion spell.
I can make you invisible.
I was thinking more of an appearance illusion.
I can do that for myself. And
Yes,
I can make
perhaps when we get in,
Do that for myself.
you can approach the guards I know as Nile.
We don't know what he looks like. So we can't change ourselves into him.
Oh, well, there goes my whole plan.
So you said they're not letting people in to see the body. What are all
Not
these
even
people
me.
lined up for then?
Place gifts amongst the throne.
Well,
Pay respects.
this is a waste of our time. Then.
Sure you don't want to try while being invisible. You have an hour.
I can try.
I think a distraction like a fire, they might have to put it out if it's near the mausoleum. Something to make them step away from the door.
Any way to get them away from the door, I can get in.
I mean, if you're invisible, they wouldn't even know.
No, they would notice
But they're
the
in
only
front of
door
the door.
opening and closing.
Oh, there's a shut door?
Yeah.
And I'm in front, and they're in front of it, and I assume it's locked. Otherwise, I would. Yeah. I assume it's locked.
Well, once we're in there, it's not really that big of a deal to distract them for a few minutes. If you're sure you're up for the task.
Of course.
How easily little traps in there with trolls and all that.
You're now about 3 people away from the door.
They're only letting one person at a time as well.
Who's the stealthiest?
You?
You.
No, other than me.
Fate is obviously, or me, who's a -1, so not me.
I'm disadvantaged.
I'm disadvantaged at
Oh,
plus-
wow.
I have
Alright.
+2.
Yeah.
I was gonna give you the cloak.
We have other ways around this.
Mm-hmm.
What
All I need is a distraction.
is King Throman's personal guard, like his most trusted advisor, number 2 man?
Mhm.
Who else is that?
That's a human called Argon.
Do you know who Argon is?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Strong guy, great leader, but
Did you see Argon at those doors at all?
Who's the guards?
he's actually inside with overseeing the gifts
Oh, okay.
by Throman's throne.
Alright.
Yeah, what he said.
How close is the mausoleum to the area of the throne?
It's like 4 or 5 doors down. Essentially, it's a doorway that leads down stone steps beneath black window.
You know, we could all go in one by one and try something.
I'm thinking I just lose my shit weeping.
Yes, exactly.
Well,
If you can get the guards to comfort you, I can try
But
and
it
sneak through
depends
the
if we
door.
can get in with all of us or just one by one.
Well,
I
She
can
can sneak in
I can
with
still
me.
get in.
yeah.
I mean, yeah, my thing was obviously the cleric angle, but yeah.
But they've already turned away any healers that have approached.
Oh, I'm talking about a spiritual well-being, not a physical well-being.
No one wants to hear Pal.
Of
Everyone wants and needs to hear Taylor. I think
Was he
you're
a believer
fine.
of Palor himself?
Well, that's irrelevant now.
No, but
I
is there,
actually have no
is
idea.
there Palor
He
rights?
He doesn't get a choice now.
He believes in drinking and fighting, but beyond that, no, he didn't believe in anything as far as I'm aware.
the hallway that leads to the mausoleum.
Yeah.
As soon as you leave the main chamber,
Mm-hmm.
can the guards from the doorway see you straight away?
Nope, because the hallway that's curved.
Curves?
Yeah.
Okay. What about I alter self now, turn myself into a guard. I walk into the castle, I go through the door, I turn myself into Argon, and I demand entrance.
You reckon you can pull that up?
+5.
Well, he just did it.
Yeah,
Oh.
I mean,
No, you're suggesting this, right? You didn't just do it?
No, I'm suggesting this.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
you said it with such like determination. I was like, well, there goes.
This
Jesse.
just happened. No, that's my plan.
Dictate to the DM. This is
Yeah.
what's happening.
I mean, I think that's a pretty good plan.
Yeah.
As long as we make sure Argon doesn't go follow you.
I think-
Yeah, exactly. That's.
But
But then just say, look, there's a traitor.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, perhaps
Even
if you were in there and
Yeah,
someone started following
yeah, even
me.
if he doesn't let you in, then you can distract them long enough for me to sneak in behind them.
Yeah, and if Argon tries to follow me as soon as I go through the door, you can distract him so that he doesn't follow me.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, the rest of us are outside. We can cause them further direction from, Argon's in the chamber that we can go into, so we can talk to him there.
If you see a huge beam of blue light run into the sky,
No one demons coming.
yeah, demons coming.
I've got a suggestion as well. Why don't you say your reason to go in is
Other
to
people
bless
online
the
are
body
listening.
and ensure
Uh,
they
guys.
We already know they've turned away
Guys.
everyone,
Hello.
Guys.
including healers and clerics.
Might need to keep the volume down for the listener.
Like the two people in front. No, no.
Yeah, you now notice that the guys in front of you and the guys behind you are all kind of just listening to you intently as you have this conversation in the line.
You mourn Throman in your own ways, guys. Don't judge us.
We seek to give him the proper rites of death, as are condoned by Palor himself.
And a small halfling kind of steps out of line. You're agent of Pelor?
Well, I couldn't say I'm an agent of Palor. I follow his blessings.
My father taught me,
Your father taught you what? Sorry.
oh, the way of the light. He often said it was the only truth in the world.
Oh my
must
god,
chase
you
the-
found a follower!
Chase the light through the shadows. Always chase the light.
Of course. Palor's light is all. What can exist without the sun's light?
It's the greatest gift we've been given.
Exactly right.
You said that you don't trust that it's Throman. You needed entrance to the mausoleum.
Well, yes.
I'm gonna insight check this guy.
Yeah.
Joined on that one.
Hey, he's the only person else who believes in Palor, so I fucking believe him no matter what. Fuck all y'all. You know?
16.
And this is the best rolling dice, and I still keep getting that ones.
The middle one's
He seems
Yeah, but they
fairly
keep going
straightforward.
like 19,
Do
18.
you have a way into the mausoleum, my child? Could you help Palor's light?
apologize.
I have been here for a day and a half, paying respects. I hear that the summoning tomorrow, guards have been instructed to protect from the outer walls. The inside of the castle will be unprotected there. They say that Naya wants a meeting with the great adventurers of Blackwinter.
So Naya will be summoning the great adventures and dismissing all guards at the same time.
Posting them outside
The Great Wall or the Wall of the Keep?
the wall of the keep.
Sounds like a killbox to me.
I
Yeah.
heard guards talking last night.
How many people are still ahead of us?
2.
So the guards that are at the front, are they? Can they hear us now, or?
No. It's a while before you're allowed.
How closely are those two guards paying attention to us?
Not very.
Okay.
They're tired. It's the middle
Alter
of the
yourself into a guard. So standard guard armor, all that crap.
night. Nice.
Plan A.
May the blessings be upon you, my child of Palor.
He actually gives you a hug.
No, you guys. Yeah, and I just walk off towards the door.
Okay.
I hear new guards were requested.
Yes.
I'm your summer shift. And I walk through.
Yeah, inside you find a multitude of gifts laid before the throne of Thronen.
Without even passing a glance, I just go around, normal duties, take a turn, go to the door, and walk through it.
2 guards standing there inside.
So this is the door out of the main room?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So just
Pretty
walk towards it and go
Yeah,
through?
they let you through.
As the door closes behind me, alter self.
Yeah.
Again, turn myself into
Aragon.
Argon.
Can I just stealth behind him the whole time?
Sure.
Yeah, I can.
Cool.
Yeah.
You get to the
Before
door
you
of the
go.
Molosseum.
I'm gonna grab the casket of wine back off you.
Oh, yeah.
Guard either side.
I don't pay them any attention, so I just walk through.
It's a fine gift for Thronen.
Can I get some
Indeed, what's
deception,
mine?
please?
Deception?
Yep, with advantage.
What? Perception.
Deception.
Oh, deception.
That is a 23.
Nice. DC 18.
Nice.
Oh shit.
Into the Molosseum. So you both make it into the Molosseum.
Cool.
It's full of mollusks.
There, on a plinth, is the body of Thronen.
Can I inspect for poisons
You absolutely can.
and bites?
Oh, holy fuck, we're doing that.
That's a 20 modifier.
So, as you close the door behind you, you're now in a room with like dim silver light, and
And a roll perception around me as
Also
well.
an 18 for poison, so that's double.
It's only a 9 on that.
as you approach the body of Thronen, you can see that he's been wearing quite heavy armor that kind of goes up and down his arms and such, and he's just kind of like this on the plinth. As you approach, you immediately start like searching for poison. You find no poison.
And bite marks was
It's-
the 20 something.
Through the armor being pulled off the neck. Yeah. 2 points.
Cool. As far as vampires go, we know they drink people's blood, obviously.
Yeah.
Does that mean instant death?
Can,
Like if they're
Roll,
drained, do
both-
they turn into a vampire?
Roll history with disadvantage.
I got bit by a vampire and it did necrotic
Oh,
damage.
that's that one.
what?
History with disadvantage.
History with disadvantage, okay.
He was there when I got bit.
Yeah.
13.
Cool.
But they didn't have enough time to drain you, right? Because we
Not
were in
fully.
combat.
Yeah. So there are different things that vampire bite can do. If they drain you entirely of blood, they intend to kill.
Yeah.
If they choose to use a curse to turn you into a vampire, then they'll do that. So essentially, they can bite you, and you won't turn into a vampire. They can choose to kill you. Or
Is there any indication, or do you know how long it takes before that turn completes?
about a day.
About a day?
Mhm.
It's been longer than that for some
Correct.
So he is drained.
Correct.
Thank Christ.
Not necessarily. Means we have probably just lost our greatest ally.
But also, we don't have a demon king.
Just to be sure. This feels so bad. I'll take his hand and like bow down in case anyone's watching.
Mhm.
But I'll do a quick shocking grasp for him.
Sure.
Clear. Yeah. And you're stepping into the different way. Well done.
You see the body kind of shake,
Yeah.
and then fall silent again.
Look. I'm not kidding. Okay.
You've seen what we came for.
Yeah. Aside from that, I don't think there's anything else. Can I check his? I want to check his hands.
Mm-hmm.
Do they look bruised, or are there
Signs of a fight.
scraps of cloth under his fingernails?
Investigation.
Can I assist?
Advantage.
That is a 18.
Can you put the who on? Yes. This is life. I don't.
No signs of struggle or fight or anything. It looks like this happened quick.
Alright. Say farewell, good king. And I'll walk back home.
Cool. Yeah, your words kind of echo around the empty chamber. As the door closes behind you, you kind of feel like
I'm
Something-
stealthing with him now. Where is it?
yeah.
I'm not just standing there.
Yeah. you guys make your way back outside the gates of Blackwinter. From his castle to where the rest of the party are.
Cool. Drop the ultrasound.
Cool.
Are we like at the front of the line?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's a couple of hours until dawn when the notice board had summoned adventurers and travellers to a council of Naya. As you stand aware that looms towards you, trying to decide what to do with the information as these two inform you that Throman in fact has been bitten, it seems, and the news of his death may have been quite inaccurate portrayal of events. As night is slowly approaching day, and soon the light of Kala will be ablaze once more, you essentially have a choice, which is attend the summoning or find an alternate route of achieving your goals.
So are we still waiting in line to get in?
We're at the front of the line now.
Yeah.
That's where we're going to leave tonight's episode. So, thank you guys very much for coming along with Blackwinter Nights. Next week, we actually introduce our new player for Blackwinter Nights, as unfortunately Shiver and Fate have moved to the UK, or are moving to the UK for work. So, thank you guys very much from Eyes of Elisia for joining us to make up the numbers tonight. The assassin was pretty cool, and I loved your character. Fantastic.
Thank you.
The rest of you guys have some difficult decisions to make next week. In terms of information gathering, your strategic methods seem to have paid off. You certainly got some clever ideas in there, which was cool. Yep, David's still there. Cool. So that is the rather somber Blackwinter Nights episode, Black Banners. King Throman Ashback, Dwarven King. Pay respects to him. Thank you guys for joining us tonight. Thanks for the new subs. Thank you, Ted Belcher. Good to see you along tonight. Thank you, Leonard, for tuning in. Always good to see you, dude. And for myself, Oliver Dungeon Master, and my lovely, lovely players, the Blackwinter Nights, we bid you good night. Remember to check out D20 Multiverse, other content, because we do a lot of things. Thank you guys so much for joining us.